Hello everyone, I'm Bruffy1322 and welcome to episode 54 of the Choking Hazard podcast, the 3-year anniversary special with my usual co-hosts, Sugar-Free Nos over there.
Hey, what? How? Whoa, hey.
RDT down... Oh, wait. Wait,
Yeah,
where's
gone.
RDT?
He's dead.
Oh, RDT's not... Oh. Yeah. It's our 3-year anniversary special, and of all the people who wasn't going to show up, RIP RDT.
Yeah, and he was supposed to be here too, so we actually think it's, something important. Because he posted in our chat, or he was in Josh's chat, allegedly, a couple hours ago.
Allegedly. I have the logs, dude.
Oh, what a scumbag.
So allegedly, he was in Josh's chat a couple hours ago, and then about... what time was it that he posted that? It was
A couple hours ago?
Yeah, it was at 10:24 my time. So that's like 2 hours before the podcast starts. He just says, "Not sure if I'll be able to make it today." Just all of a sudden. So that's not like him. So hopefully he's okay.
Yeah.
He was in my chat 45 minutes ago. Not
Yeah, well,
start do 24-hour time zones.
Well, yeah, I'm not in the army. I'm not trained for 24-hour clocks. Like,
Yeah, I forgot to turn the alerts off, of course. So I've done it now. Look, we're 3 years into this, and we're continuing as we started. I'm getting things wrong. We're 5 minutes late to start the podcast.
there's been no improvement.
I'm
over
still
3
forgetting
years.
to not turn off the alerts. Anyway, Josh is also one of our co-hosts right over there. He's here too, and MB Hammer, our producer in the background, is also here.
He's in the booth. He's up in the booth.
In the booth. That's it. So, since it is the 3-year anniversary special, I thought I would get a beer, channeling a bit of RDT-ness. I thought he might approve, but he's not here to approve. So,
yeah. In his honor, I'm going to play Animal Crossing throughout the whole show and not acknowledge anyone that talks to me.
Yeah, and in his honor, I have a snowboard. No, I don't know.
He's here in spirit. It is a pint. It's a pint of but let's. Before we get into the main topics, and I want to talk about Nos having a Switch. That's changed from last podcast.
I got a Switch. I did it. I did it.
We got to talk about the first episode. This is the 3-year anniversary. It's the 25th of April 2020. The first podcast ever happened on the 22nd of April 2017. So basically the same Saturday.
Man, I was a child back then.
Well, I'm gonna show us. I'm gonna put us on the screen.
No, please don't.
I'm gonna show what we looked like back then. Very first episode.
You look exactly the same.
I have not changed.
You have no shame.
I almost have exactly the same T-shirt. But what happened to the cowboy hat? The cowboy hat.
It's right there.
Right, that was a classic. And RDT had his whiteboard. RDT looks about 13 in comparison to how he looks now.
Dude, RDT, he's still good looking. He's still a good looking man. All right,
there's no need to go back and watch the first episode because no doubt it will be terrible. I'll never go back and watch it just because I don't want to cringe.
I don't watch things with myself in them.
But yeah, look how far we've come. Everything's changed. RDT would be in a different location. You are in the same location but in a completely different home.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We have a new co-host.
Yeah, I'm not even here.
Yeah. It was I can't remember what episode you were our guest, but it was long after this. So it's all changed. Even the I still had labels on the screen and just my old setup. Now it's professional. Oh, except we don't have RDT anymore, so we'll move to this. So it would be interesting to see who's obviously I've been here for all 53, but whether it's Nos or RDT who's been here for the most podcasts over the years. I feel like it's RDT.
Yeah, RDT hasn't missed This isn't the first one he's missed, is it?
No, he's missed one before, right? Surely. Maybe he
Maybe.
hasn't. Not Hammer, you've missed one, right?
I almost missed one.
Oh, almost missed one. Okay.
I know I missed like 3 there during football season, like 3 in a row.
Weren't you on a train coming home at one point? I was still doing the podcast, Hammer.
Yes, that is indeed correct. I was,
Nice.
That counts.
I was still
He's-
producing the podcast,
Yeah.
but I was on a train.
Yeah, it worked. It worked. Yeah, I think RDT's missed one before, so it's probably Hammer who's done the most. Well, Hammer and me have been here for all of them, I guess, in that instance. But yeah,
Man,
you missed a few
stupid
at the end
football.
of last year.
Yeah, like in a row too. It was real bad. That was real bad.
Yeah, it was just me and RDT for a while, and that's why we brought on Josh to
Yeah, I was gonna say.
to
I'm very glad I fanboyed this man.
Yeah.
It's so hard to get him here. I'm very proud.
It was a good job. Yeah.
This is the first recorded instance of fanboying actually getting the result you want. It's great.
Yeah, and ever since then, you've also been to the podcast, so we haven't really needed. Yeah, but it's. I think the general comments that we've seen on YouTube is that the podcast has been better for having you here.
Yeah.
So I agree as well. It's been more interesting with. It's nice when there's more of us to talk about more things, but different things to talk about as well. And we actually have a racing corner now. After all this time.
Yeah.
How have you been
it's
finding it?
Yeah, it's been good. I'm enjoying it a lot. You managed to it managed to happen at exactly the perfect time. I was getting like podcast withdrawal or something because I used to run one before, but the problem is it was like a pure speedrunning one, and all the speedrunners we know are all in the same like bit of speedrunning. We can represent all of it and stuff, so we kind of stopped doing that. And that was like a few years ago, and then like a few people were like, "Hey Josh, when's the next episode of this podcast?" I was like, and I was like started thinking about a new podcast, and I made like a pilot test episode of it and stuff. And then you messaged me and was just like, "Hey Josh, do you want to be?" And I was like, "Oh, thank God!" Right? Like,
I don't have to do any work.
I don't have to do any production. I don't have to do anything. Just turn up, talk, a little bit of research because obviously you did speedrun news and stuff, but I could do that, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't have to. I don't
Perfect
have to wrangle
timing.
any guests. And,
Yeah. Don't need to think about it too much. Just turn up.
yeah, it's nice.
Good. So Hammer, Josh and I were talking about this on the pre-show before Nos got here because he was late. I'm going to blame us being late to starting the stream on you being late.
No, you're not.
Well, I just have. I mean, I'm doing it.
You can't. I forbid you. See, it's so simple. No, you. I win.
And when we were talking about, do you remember the Formula D game that we played after the first episode of the podcast?
Yes, of course I remember that. That was fun.
That was fun. We were thinking that. Well, I mean, at least I was thinking that we should. I mean, we're going to bring back the game nights. Hopefully from next month onwards. There it is. There's the real version. Josh has got the real version. We played it online on.
All right, we're going to Josh's
Tabletop.
house.
We're all coming over, Josh. Oh no, we can't. We can't in quarantine.
Yeah.
But
All these board games are useless right now.
Yeah, it was Blade Cruiser who made a Formula D game board of Cutting Coroner's GP, my testing track in GTA, and we played Formula
which
D.
was pretty good. That was really enjoyable.
It worked
It
really
was.
well, I thought. On Tabletop Simulator. I've got no footage of it because I think it was just something that we did at the end of the podcast for the rest of the stream, and I kind of didn't even think about it. So I was thinking that maybe we should play that if we can get Blade Cruiser to set it all up again. Maybe we can play that for the bringing back the game nights next month.
Okay. We could also do Animal Crossing too.
Yeah, Hammer said that as well because we all have that now. But for those who don't know, we do game nights as well. Well, we have done. We haven't because the MCEC has been on, but we normally have at the end of last year do obviously the podcast on the 4th Saturday of the month, but then game nights on the second Saturday of the month. So
Yeah,
hopefully
I
we'll
was gonna
bring
say, if
that
you've been
back.
doing them, you've been doing them without me. I was like, what?
Yeah, it was all before you came to everything, but hopefully we can bring those back. And yeah, if you're not already subscribed to the YouTube channel, that's where all the footage from those game nights goes up. So yeah, I mean, let's move on to the whole Switch. What's going on? You were so vehemently against it last. You've completely switched around.
Hold up. All right, hold up. That's strong language. I was not against it. Okay, what I'm against is it being out of stock everywhere and $500. That's unacceptable and ridiculous. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
But
yeah, Switches have been hard to come by. I'm curious how you found one.
Well, I was complaining at work to my boss because his kids have a Switch, and I was talking with them, and they're playing a bunch of Animal Crossing. So I was complaining to him that his kids get to play Animal Crossing and I don't. And then one of my coworkers was like, "Hey, I got a Switch that I don't play anymore." I was like, "Oh, do you?" So we worked out a deal, and he sold it to me for $150, which is pretty good.
That's pretty good.
That is pretty good, yes. Because I was like, no, you name a price, because whatever price I would have named would have been higher than that. So
Right,
I was
okay.
like, how much do you want for it? He's like, $150. It wasn't perfect because like he thought he had everything for it, and then when he got home, like his stupid roommates apparently broke the dock at some point, and the Pro controller he had that he was going to give me as well. So all I got from him was the Switch. But then another friend of mine at work had a dock, and he doesn't play his Nintendo Switch ever on the TV, and he doesn't really play it anymore. So I got the dock from him. So now I've got the whole thing.
Did you pay for that, or did he just give you it?
He just gave it to me.
Oh,
He's very,
wow.
very nice.
Yeah.
Very, very sweet, nice young man.
Have you? What's been your main method of playing it? Handheld or?
The dock actually, I've got to wait on a power cord for the dock because he didn't have the power cord for the dock.
Okay.
So I had to buy. It's a lot easier to find one of those than it is to actually find Nintendo accessories.
Yeah. Okay.
So that'll be here in the mail in like a week or so.
So you've been playing handheld, which is something in the last podcast you said you wouldn't never do that. Why? That's terrible.
See, again, you're using very strong language. Like I don't like it in handheld. I'm gonna be honest, I don't like it.
Okay.
I really don't like it, but it's not like oh, here Hammer says roll tide. I don't know if you can say that, if you can see that. But like I don't like it. It's definitely inferior to playing it on a TV, in my opinion. But it works. The screen's pretty nice. And I really like it. Now, what is it worth? Like the retail price to me? Probably not. Still, I probably still wouldn't have paid like $300 plus $60 for Animal Crossing plus $20 for Nintendo Online. Plus another whatever for Pro controller or whatever. It's still not worth that much, but for $150, very good. Very good. I'm really enjoying it.
Are you starting to see the all the good things that people have been saying about the Switch? Are you seeing where people are saying that from now? Because that's how I felt when I got mine. It was kind of like, okay, I get it. Like, I just get it.
Yeah, I mean, I get why it's good. It's just still, even though I understand why it's good, it's still not worth the amount of money to me. Like $400.
Yeah.
I still don't think it's worth $400.
And I guess that's because you're not really playing it handheld as much. Like, or you would prefer not to. Like, for a... that's one of the main benefits of it.
But yeah, I've got Animal Crossing. I'll probably pick up Mario Kart at some point. I played Mario Kart a little bit.
You need to get on Mario Odyssey.
Is it good?
It's so good. Yeah, and I don't really play that many Mario games. I don't think I'd played a Mario game since the N64, Super Mario 64. Like, it was so good. I was very surprised how much I enjoyed it.
I'm gonna get Deadly Premonition is actually on the Nintendo Switch. I don't know if you know that game.
I've heard the name of that game many times.
Yes,
I think Jim Sterling doesn't he say that that's like the best game that's ever existed?
It's one of them. It's one of them. So I will report back once I buy it and see if the version's actually stable, because the PC version's complete garbage. Like it's really, really buggy.
And Star Wars Pod Racer's coming as well. Gotta pick that up. I recently bought South Park Fractured Butthole for the Switch because
that's a good game to play on the Switch.
That's what I was thinking. I already have it on Steam, and I've played through it. But I just thought I want to play that again, and the game was £20 on Amazon for the cartridge, and I was like, "That's a
just
great."
Gave me a football helmet with Alabama colors.
Yeah,
God
he
bless
mentioned
him.
that in the pre-show. He had a present for you.
Yes.
But yeah, I thought like it was £20 on Amazon, perfect game to play on the Switch, on the go, wherever you are. And then I thought, I wonder if they've got the first game. I'd like to play the first game through again before I play this one. And they do have it, but it's only on the Nintendo Store, so it's only downloadable. And it's £40 or something ridiculous for the original, and £50 for the Fractured Butthole, the second one. Whereas you can buy the cartridge on Amazon for $20. Like the Nintendo eShop is insane with the prices.
It's well like Deadly Premonition. I was gonna buy it, and I'm I'll probably still buy it, but it's like $30, and it's like a 10-year-old, objectively not good game. It's $30.
Yeah.
Like what do you like? Who are you? Who do you think you are?
But yeah, the ability to just switch it up with the Switch is the big selling point. How do you play it more, Josh? Do you play it more handheld or TV or screens?
I don't really mind actually. I used to play it on my TV a lot. The thing is, I have a really weird setup, and everyone's gonna cringe when I say this if you know anything about this. But my computer setup is 2 televisions.
Why?
Because
Well, you see, input lag is a way of life.
no, that's not important. Don't worry about that. Yeah, I have a funny story about that. But anyway, when I used to live in my parents' place, and I had like an Xbox and a PC, but there was no room for both these things, so I had to get a television that could be like a computer monitor and an Xbox thing. So I did get a low input television, but we're talking, these are the very early 1080p TVs, right? So low input for those is pretty bad still. But I bought it like refurbished from like some Tesco eBay thing for like half price of what it should have been, like 1080p, and we're talking like 7, 8, maybe 10 years ago even. And I'm still using it. It's still right in front of me. I'm looking at it, the LG thing. It's got stickers all over it. It's like refurbished. It's never broken.
Okay.
I love it too much to get rid of it. I know it's terrible, but yeah. But yeah, the input lag, I'm just so used to it now. I just whatever at this point.
I've become everything you do is 3 seconds before you want it to happen.
Exactly.
I mean, funny
Whenever
enough,
I go to,
the TV that I used to have in my old room when I started doing all of YouTube and stuff, I had a laptop, and then I had the TV with the consoles on that I used to play the games on, and then it was all connected through cables and stuff. But I think I got that, it must have been like 2008 or something, and it's still in the house. We've only just stopped using it as like an extra TV for something, and it still works perfectly fine. They made them well.
Yeah, it's crazy. Just still funny to me that it's like I got this 1080p TV like 10 or whatever years ago, and only now it's like we're finally going beyond this, right? Like 1440p is the next thing. It's like it took us a while.
Yeah, 1080p lasted a while. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's because it's even still, frame rate is more valuable than resolution. Still, in my opinion.
Yeah, I still play everything at 1080p,
and it'll be that way forever.
Yeah,
I would much rather play at 1080p and 120 FPS. Than 60 FPS at 1440 or 30 FPS at 4K.
Yeah, the thing is, the TV's only 60 hertz though, right? So it's like
that's the most you get
monitor at some point.
But I mean, I have a 1440 monitor, but the PC that I use to run the games, I have it set to 1080p because it's just everything is going through OBS, videos, YouTube. It's all going to be 1080p anyway. So, and I'd rather have the frame rate anyway. So
yeah,
I think
a few content creators are doing 1440p stuff now, right? But not many.
Yeah, I mean, I could, but don't think I necessarily need
And
to.
even
right
if they
now.
do that, they're just like upscaling it so the bitrate's higher on YouTube.
Yeah,
Not
that's true. A lot of
necessarily.
people
Yeah.
do that. Yeah, it's not native or anything, especially if it's
I mean,
console
heck,
gaming.
Total Biscuit used to do that. Like that's several years ago.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, we're going Animal Crossing night for all of us, huh? Because I mean, I've even been playing it a little bit. It's on, Xerxes, the main player of Animal Crossing. She makes the island. She's done all the stuff and got all the people and done everything. But I have been dipping my toe into it a little bit, and yeah, it's not my sort of game that if I was like just playing it on my own, I would probably get sick of it relatively quickly. But just being able to dip in whenever I want and do a little bit of things, I've only got the first house. I haven't really expanded it or anything, but I can see the appeal of it, and it's fun to just pick up a little bit. And I've been playing it with Xerxes, on the TV and not split screen, but together on the same screen. It's fun. So I would be up for joining some Animal Crossing since we're all on it now, and Daddy T is as
Yeah.
well.
Well, funny story. I haven't played it in like 2 weeks.
Oh no, there's gonna be weeds everywhere, and all your villagers are
Well, no,
left.
Emma's playing it all the time. So
Okay, good.
But like,
Well,
it's one of these games that I like. I go through these phases of where I like obsess over a game for like 2 weeks solid, and I do all the research and I know all about it and I understand like the best way to do everything. And then I just get bored and never touch it again. I go through cycles of everything all the time. It's like Minecraft, Animal Crossing, MMOs, all this sort of stuff. So I'm done with that game now. But I'll play with you guys, of course.
Okay.
Well, I haven't done anything in it for ages.
I like how she said in the chat, I should have been the main player.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the problem is I made the island first, so
Yeah.
I'm like the island rep or whatever.
Yeah, see, now that I don't really like, that you can't have, like, separate save files for people. Like, I mean, that's not a problem for me because I'm alone. But for other people who are not, I imagine that's pretty frustrating.
It's pretty bad, yeah. You can't transfer saves or anything to other switches or do anything either. There's just no way around it. You're locked in. And I didn't realize this when I made it, so I kind of screwed us a bit. Yeah.
It's a
She
shame.
just
guess-
used my account.
Yeah.
I was saying that
but-
about in the last podcast that there was a lot of uproar about that, like the
Oh yeah, we did talk
the
about it, didn't we?
restrictions.
Yeah.
Look at all these fossils you've got over here, Nos, that I could just steal.
Are you two playing Animal Crossing?
Yes.
We're meant to be doing a I mean, I suppose.
Go ahead. I don't. I mean, I've
Don't
got
get
so
your
many
Switch.
duplicates.
Don't.
But Animal Crossing is like the perfect game for me right now because I could just come home. It's 2 a.m. after a shift, and it's not like a game that I have to like. Oh, I got to play through this, and it's going to be, it's going to be 8-hour playthrough. Like I just get on, and it's like 30 minutes. I could do, a little bit here, a little bit there, do a couple challenges or whatever, get some Nook miles, and then go to bed. Like because that it's just perfect for me right now. And
It's come out at exactly the right time. It's like, here's this social simulator. By the way, you're all locked inside.
Yeah.
It's like, perfect.
And you can spend as much or as little time as you want on it, and it will
Yeah.
always satisfy exactly what you need.
yeah,
Sale
well, that's
numbers
the,
of boom. Like,
Yeah.
well, that's the thing. Like every game that I want to play at the moment is like I said, like a playthrough. Like, oh, well, you have to sit down. It's there's no real kind of stopping point or anything like that. Because I'm not one to just play part of a game and then 2 weeks later come back and pick up where I left off.
No, I can't
But
do that
this
either.
game-
No.
But that's kind of what I did. I started GTA 4 a couple weeks ago, and haven't played it since. I really want to, but I don't have time
Yeah.
because I work.
Speaking.
So anyway, yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, speaking of working, you're doing. Did you say 70 hours?
Yeah, last week I got 67 hours.
So
pretty
things
much.
haven't improved at all then at Domino's since the last podcast.
No, I've had 4 weeks in a row where I've worked over 60 hours.
Ouch.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. I mean, we've started hiring people, so it's I have a little faith it's going to get a little better, but I've worked 7 days the past 2 weeks in a row. I haven't had an off day since Monday. Let's take a look. The 6th. Monday the 6th was my last
Wasn't
off
that the
day.
Monday after the last podcast?
Yes.
Jesus.
Wow.
Yes, I haven't had an off day since then. And Thursday was supposed to be kind of an off day. I was supposed to come in, we get our food truck on Thursday, like Thursday mornings. And I was supposed to come in and just do the truck, put it up, put it in the computer, go home. Then we got real busy and we had a new employee that I had to train, and then I ended up being there for 10 hours. So
Oh God, going in
So,
for
yeah.
20 minutes and there for 10 hours.
yes, it's a very slippery slope.
You're,
And
you're,
I
you're,
mean,
you're at
it's-
least being paid for all of your hours, though, right? Like,
Oh yeah. This last paycheck was the biggest paycheck I've gotten so
Yeah.
far.
so at least
Since,
that. But you're obviously a lot more struggling a lot more because they're staying open, and I'm guessing everybody's ordering Domino's and in the
Yes,
absence
it's
of anything
extremely
else.
busy.
Yeah.
Our last week we broke a record for total I don't know if I can give out this information. Nobody watches the show.
No.
Okay, this pizza place.
On
that
your
I
arm.
know.
It's on your arm.
Oh no! But we broke our week sales record. My boss told me, which is like 30K, over 30K in a week in sales. And then yesterday we had the most sales of any singular day ever.
That's
Broke another
crazy.
record, yeah. So it's in like he thinks this is going to be the new normal. I don't know if I agree with him, but he's been in this business 24 years, and I've been in this business 14 months. So I'm going to defer to his judgment.
Yeah. I kind of
Uh.
agree with him. I think it's going to be pretty normal for quite a while now. Even if things open up a little bit, they're never going to open up fully until vaccines and things. So I feel like it's going to stay busy for you. Maybe you
Yeah.
need more staff.
How long is it takes people to form a habit? Is it like 2 weeks or something like that?
Isn't it 30 days?
30 days? 30 days. I don't know. I'm making numbers up. I know it's an amount of time, right? So, by the end of this, everyone's just going to, in the habit of just ordering food all the time.
I mean,
And people are tipping well. For the most part,
Okay.
people are tipping well. But there's a lot more. The only thing is, there's a lot more people that tip, like they'll order on the app, and the app prompts you like, "Hey, do you want to give the person delivering your food a living wage? Click yes." And then they click yes, but that I get the tips at the end of the night, just like anything else. But it appears on my pay stub as a deduction, so the money is taxed. So I'm getting a lot more taxed tip income than I am just cash that's untaxed.
I remember a few
So-
podcasts ago when you were talking about that, like how the tipping is good because it's just cash, you're exchanging money, but that doesn't happen as much
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah, but it's still, but to make up for that, it'll be like, $6-7 instead of someone just, handing you 20 on a $16 order and saying, keep the change.
Yeah.
So it kind of evens out in a way.
Are you running a reduced menu of items, like in terms of toppings and things?
No.
Okay, because the Domino's close to us is like I don't know if that's the same
Really?
everywhere in the UK or whether it's just how it is. Yeah.
For me, it is, yeah. The KFC
What
and
is-
stuff around here is running reduced.
What do they
Oh, the
have then?
KFC
What
here
do
is
they have?
closed. I mean,
okay.
they closed pretty much straight after McDonald's.
Yeah. Ours closed really early, but then we're one of the 10 places where it reopened for some reason.
Okay. But yeah,
It's
they're
good, it's in
running
the
a
middle of
reduced
nowhere.
like menu. There's only like pepperoni chicken. There's no sort of like meatballs or there's basically take half of the toppings in Domino's and get rid of them, and a lot of the pre-made pizzas that use those toppings, none of them are on there. There's a lot of sides that aren't quite on there anymore.
I mean, that's probably supply chain issues, I would imagine.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, nothing to do
I'm
with.
not sure. Yeah, our full menu is we got the full menu.
I mean, you
Everything.
guys still have McDonald's open and everything over there, right? Like,
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
all just
drive
open.
through only, but
Yeah, it's still there. I mean, not over here.
it's rough.
Yeah, I think you guys are more equipped for drive-throughs than we are here, right? You have like big drive-throughs, right? I don't know.
Yes, it's almost as if we have an infrastructure built to support large vehicles,
Or vehicles in
as
general.
opposed to just tiny Fiats. Like,
Or ancient Roman roads or whatever.
Yeah, I know.
That's why Euro Truck Simulator is such a challenge, and American Truck Simulator is so relaxing.
3-hour waiting time in McDonald's in France during the week when it reopened. Wow.
Why? It isn't even that good.
Yeah.
I was going to say, really?
It's not worth 3 hours.
I mean, KFC maybe, but
Like, I would take one, right? Like, if someone was like, "Oh, do you want a McDonald's?" I'd be like, "Oh, yeah, I could have one. Maybe I'm kind of missing it a little bit, but not really to the point where I'd be waiting more than 10 minutes." You know,
yeah.
at a maximum. All right, so we can move on to a bit of news that cropped up between the two podcasts, and it's something that we've talked about previously on a previous podcast. I can't remember exactly when, but there was a streamer going off on one about how $5, wasn't much money, and you should be subscribing. You know, how can you, if you've got the time to be watching Twitch, then you've got $5 to be subscribing. If you don't have $5, then you shouldn't be watching Twitch. You should be getting out there and working and earning that $5 to give to the streamer that you're trying to watch. That was basically the hot take by one streamer from a while ago, and that was
very hot take.
Universally panned, obviously. But now another female streamer has decided to say this pretty much exactly the same thing. I think it was last week or the week just gone. And of course the same stuff has happened, but like, to me, I'll be honest, I feel like she did it on purpose just to get the attention, because from what I've understood, the first streamer that did it,
RDT in the chat.
What?
Oh no.
Sub to RDT33.
RDT, where are you? Why are you not here?
I swear it's gonna... RDT, what are you doing? If you've got time to be in the chat, you've got time to be actually here at the podcast. God damn it, what a scum. He chose the perfect moment as I was talking about, the scumbag streamers out there. He comes in and posts his own Twitch link. Just chilling.
Chilling. Okay.
What an absolute
I guess he just
scum.
wanted to view the podcast.
Yeah, he wanted to watch it. It's the 3-year anniversary special. What a scum. But yeah, she I feel like she did it on purpose, because the streamer that did it originally, she now has like double the amount of concurrent viewers and subscribers that she did originally.
Stop.
Doesn't it just make your blood boil that hot take got actually was beneficial for her in the long run? And I think...
Was I on the podcast at the time when that happened?
I don't know. I can't... It was around that time of like January. Yeah. It might have been the January podcast. I can't remember.
But I think I definitely called this. Like, everyone was like, "Oh, why she say something like that? She's gonna bomb her career." And I'm just like, "No, she isn't."
It's gonna make
so many eyes,
so many more people. It's all
If 99% of people watch the clip and go, "Oh, this is horrible," 1% goes, "Ha, that's funny. I'm gonna watch her." Right? That's a net profit, right?
Yeah. And it's like the reason that I don't even know the name of this new girl to do it. I don't know her channel name or anything like that, and that's on purpose.
All
because
women streamers are the same.
Whoa.
There's my hot take.
He doesn't represent us.
Yeah, that is not the representation of the Choking Hazard podcast or anyone else. That's going a significant step higher than what I was going to say.
No, see, it's a big brain. All right, now more people are going to watch me because of my terrible opinion.
Clip it to Reddit.
Yeah, there you go.
But like what I don't know the name of her, and I'm not gonna be talking about her or saying her name because I feel like it's just what she might have wanted, and she came out with an apology, and it's bull.
Yeah,
really,
Never
but-
back. No apologies. You can't apologize.
No.
See, that's all.
But looking back
feel
at it,
at this stage, I feel at this stage you can't really blame the streamer. You have to blame the stupidity of the general public.
Yeah, well,
yeah, for
say that about a lot of stuff.
yeah,
No, I mean, I think we can still blame the streamer for their bad opinions. I mean,
for being bad people.
I didn't even watch.
I'm not gonna go that far.
Oh,
I'm not gonna say
okay.
she's bad people because she thinks she's entitled to compensation for her entertainment. That she's hold on, entertainment.
Or she could be very intelligent and knows that all publicity is good publicity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I think, because when you look back at the clip and you think of it as, what if she was doing this on purpose? Like, the way it feels like she's not a very good actor. And like, you can tell that, okay, now that I'm looking at it through these goggles, it seems like, okay, it seems pretty obvious that she's just saying this and she already had this prepared to say, rather than, the first instance of it, a few months ago, where it was clearly just bad human. But bad people, bad takes, and yes, RDT, I am drinking in honor of you, because you're not here, and also because it was the 3-year anniversary of the podcast. I thought I'd celebrate. I thought you might have, a beer with me, but no, you're not here, are you? You're in the chat.
Can we have him phoning in as a guest?
Yeah, he could, we're not to that portion of the show yet. He can call in and ask a question.
Yeah. I had to go to my mom's place and didn't have enough room for my podcast gear. Okay. Are we going to accept
Excuses.
that? Are we going to... Is that an acceptable excuse?
Another hot take. The entirety of the IRL category is garbage. That's another hot take from me. The whole category. If you were in IRL, garbage.
Is IRL a category anymore? Isn't it?
Or is it just chatting? Whichever one of those is just you sitting in front of a camera in a low-cut top, eating. That's the category that's bad. Okay.
I'll give you one exception.
Is there?
Yeah, there is one exception. French Stallion.
Yes, that fun gentleman that plays the guitar.
Yeah.
If you play, okay, hold up. If you play an instrument,
plays Rocksmith.
If you play an instrument, you get a pass. You are actually creating art. If you were sitting in a room, just talking, much like I'm doing.
The entire basis of this podcast. That's what we're all. 3 years.
You just
3 years.
yourself.
3 years we've been doing this, and you've just ruined it in one sentence.
Oh no!
All right, well, see you later, guys.
Yeah, that's it. Podcast done.
That's it. It's over. Oh god.
That's it. Hot take.
God.
Oh, I'm dying.
Oh god, that's it. It's over. It's over.
Do you wanna rephrase that? No.
No, you know what? I'm not gonna back down.
No, that's it.
I'm not gonna back down. We're part of the problem.
We're part of the problem. Oh god.
Never apologize. I'm not gonna apologize.
Oh, that's good. He said the truth out loud. Yeah, obviously the only reason we're already fulfilling one half of the requirements. We don't need to get in low cut tops for next podcast, and we'll be shooting to the bringing in all the money.
Is a dress shirt that's unbuttoned like I'm at the beach? Is that acceptable?
You can try it, and we'll see. We'll just have to experiment. Oh, that's amazing. Classic choking hazard.
There is a point that this is in talk shows and podcasts category. I feel like that's maybe a little different than just chatting.
If it helps, I'm sitting here in just my pants.
Amen.
It's my usual quarantine get up, so.
I feel triggered and I don't know why. I'm sorry, sir.
All right. Should we move on to some gaming news then? I had nothing to write down. Well, yeah, we're not. We always leave the phone bank till after the gaming news now, so it's not as if we're jumping so far ahead. It seems like we normally. I mean, unless you've got something else to say that isn't related to gaming, racing, speedrunning, last episode or fighting?
No. I think I'm
Okay, so now we'll move on to the gaming news.
Okay, thank you. I'm glad you checked with me before you carried on with your own podcast. Thank you.
I actually didn't write anything down for the gaming news because I just didn't think of anything that I wanted to say. But you have, Josh, so you can tell us whatever you were gonna say.
Okay, so it's only small news, and it probably only matters to me. So have you guys heard of the game Guild Wars?
I know of its existence.
I've seen you tweet about it.
Very excitedly, I assume.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, when I say the words Guild Wars, everyone thinks, oh, you mean Guild Wars 2, Josh? And I'm just like, no. Guild Wars 1. The good one. Yeah, long story short.
How old is the game? How old is the game?
15 years.
All right.
That's pretty old. So it
what
came
I'm
out in
getting at.
2005.
Yep, it's literally the 15-year anniversary right now. I'm logged in and I'm partaking in a mini game for the 15th year anniversary right now.
Okay.
But yeah, for
Wait.
Okay.
Nos and I get shit for playing Animal Crossing, but he's playing Guild Wars.
I'm
and he doesn't get shit.
AFK. I'm AFK in a MOBA. It's fine.
Don't know about that.
Yeah, I
It's
don't know about that
minimized.
actually.
Oh,
Look,
come
I
on.
feel left out now. I'm the only one not playing a game during the podcast.
so
Zexy,
you
bring
can
me
play-
the Switch.
But no, so yeah, the game came out 15 years ago. But the way it went was that it's like not really an MMO. It's a game with it's its own game. It's like a mix of like World of Warcraft and Diablo, but also card games. It's very strange. Anyway, that's
So it's an MMO. It's a.
you'd class it as an MMO, but it's
But
not.
it's okay.
It's very different. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It came out 15 years ago. They released the game, then a year later they released expansion, then 6 months later they released another expansion, and then they were like, "Oh crap! There's a bunch of stuff we want to do that we can't with this game engine. See you guys. Here's a mini expansion. See you in like 3 years for Guild Wars 2." So during that time period, they they had like a small team that released updates for it. Blah blah blah. Anyway, Guild Wars 2 comes out. I have the collector's edition somewhere actually. Where did I put that? Oh, you can see it. It's up there. Whatever. Anyway, Guild Wars 2 comes out. All the Guild Wars 1 player base is massively hyped, and then it turns out Guild Wars 2 is a completely different game, and hardly any of the old fans, including me, like it. But anyway, Guild Wars 2 comes out. They work on Guild Wars 2, and Guild Wars 1 just gets left behind, and they stop working on it. They just keep running the servers forever. There's no subscription fee, by the way. It was pay once, and that was it.
Classic.
For the 10-year anniversary, they added like a tiny bit of content or whatever, and then that was like the last update to the game ever. A year or two ago, one dev at ArenaNet in his spare time did a tiny update to the game to fix a bunch of low-hanging fruit problems. But then he left ArenaNet. So the Guild Wars community was like, "Well, that's it, guys. Pack up. We're done. This is the game now." Well, for the 15th anniversary, which was this week, a day before the 15th anniversary, ArenaNet just casually announces that, like, "Oh, by the way, guys, we have more content. Here's a not massive, but a sizable patch for Guild Wars 1," and everyone's just like, "What?" Right? Like out of nowhere.
That feels so strange as well because it's had a sequel. It's got Guild Wars 2. It's like you never tend to see original games get new content, especially one that old, and especially after a sequel has been released.
But it's like for years, everyone's been hoping that they do something with Guild Wars because old school RuneScape has been a massive success. Which is old school RuneScape is RuneScape 2, and the new one is like RuneScape 3. But they released people prefer the changes. People don't like it or whatever. And classic World of Warcraft has obviously been a massive success. So everyone's just like, "Hey, ArenaNet, we still play the original Guild Wars. Can you do something with it?"
That's pretty impressive, though. I think that they've even bothered.
Yeah, they added new skills, which is the first time in 12 years they've done that. and they added some new bosses, and they added a bunch of items that are like completely unique. I'll keep it simple. Let's say there's a spear, and then the spear says on it, "Oh, you need this much spear mastery to be able to use it," right? Or sorry, a scythe. Let's say a scythe. There's a scythe, and it says you need 9 scythe mastery to use this scythe, whatever. Every single scythe in the game says X amount of scythe mastery. They released like the 15-year anniversary weapons, and they all have different stats on them. So the scythe, instead of being scythe mastery, it says soul reaping, which is like a necromancer thing. So it's like they're doing the whole like Grim Reaper thing.
Okay.
So they released really unique weapons that are nowhere else in the game, and they released a bunch of really strong skills for most classes and stuff. So they like completely shook up everything with really tiny content patches. It's great, and yeah, I think it has a lot to do. I don't think they were like paid by ArenaNet or whatever. I think it's just a bunch of devs. I don't have proof of this or anything, but it's probably just a bunch of devs working in their spare time.
It's a bunch of devs sitting at home in quarantine.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I'm going with this. Yeah, that's where I'm going with this. But it was announced a day before, and you could tell that like they had extremely limited resources because there's no new art. It's all like rehashed art and stuff. The new skills, their little icons, are like recolored icons from Guild Wars 2 and stuff like that.
I just played a little bit of Pokemon Go on my phone just to feel like I'd played a game during this podcast. The question I have is: any of it monetized? Like the update, are there any kind of like microtransactions in it? Do you have to pay for any of the content or anything?
So when the game came out 15 years ago, the only MMOs were like World of Warcraft, and they were like, "Hey, subscription fee me." Right, ArenaNet was formed by a bunch of Blizzard devs that like broke off from Blizzard and made their own thing, and they were like, the whole point of Guild Wars was that it was like the anti-World of Warcraft in a way, I guess.
Right.
But yeah, there were no subscriptions fees or anything. You literally bought the game. Like I have like boxed copies of it, right?
Yeah.
I don't know why I have that next to me. But
I love how everything's within reach.
Yeah.
But yeah, you buy a boxed copy, and then like 6 months to a year later, they release an expansion, but it's like a standalone expansion. Like this one was the first one. This is the second expansion for Guild Wars. It was the first one I owned. And yeah, they're all like standalone things, and you buy that. And later on, they released some tiny microtransaction stuff because the industry was starting to go that way. They were like, "Oh, you can buy more character slots, you can buy more bank tabs, you can pay for a name change, and stuff like that." And they were like, at the very, very end, they were like, "Oh, there's a bunch of cosmetics you can buy. There's like 10 of them. Nobody cares, right?" And then they went to Guild Wars 2. And if you've ever played Guild Wars 2, it's the same model. You buy the game, but the in-game store is absolutely crazy and exploding with everything. It's all about in-game transactions and that. So Guild Wars 1 was left in this really weird state where it has absolutely no monetization in it at all, apart from like really simple stuff. But the devs have said that the servers are so cheap to run that they don't care.
Oh, okay.
It's like they make more money from like sales of new accounts and the tiny like extra character slot payments and stuff than it costs to run the servers, apparently.
Okay. So they did all this and updated the game, and apart from the hype surrounding it and it being in the news and things like that, and that leading to new game sales or whatever, they're not actually, the content itself isn't being monetized.
Yeah, it was all the stuff they added was free. They did spread it across all the different expansions, so you do need to own the whole thing.
Right.
But like the whole thing at this point is like £30, so you can buy it all 4 games in one.
Yeah.
So it's not really, but yeah, they've in the past when they ever added skills, it was with the expansions. You could never get skills for free; you had to buy them. But they just released 10 for free. Like I did, it's like okay, just breaking your own like monetization rules.
That's pretty good though. I mean, it's amazing that what we were saying this in the pre-show, how people Hammer was saying how that whatever. Say what you were saying about what you work with, it gets lots of updates or something.
It was just the software for my PC monitoring the fans and stuff. Yeah, it was getting something like maybe one update every 3 months or whatever. But since quarantine, I've had like 2 or 3 updates a week, just like little incremental bug fixes and new features and stuff being added.
And I've noticed that with various things as well. Like ever since quarantine, people working at home, it seems to be, quality of life upgrades and content coming. It seems to be actually better now.
Yeah. And I do wonder if that's what caused this as well. But it's really good though. The community's like, doing okay before this, but we were all just like, oh, eventually ArenaNet's gonna shut down and we'll lose everything, right? And then all of a sudden this comes out and the community like explodes and there's tons of posts and everything. So
that's cool.
Great.
Another bit of gaming news. Did we talk about I can't remember whether this was known on the last podcast, the PS5 controller.
I don't know anything about it. Is it good? Is it bad?
Did we talk about it? Is that new before this podcast?
Seems to be no. It came out during the time that we've had off. So
okay,
it's very mixed reviews.
It's very different. The PS5.
It's very divisive.
Is it? It looks exactly the same.
I did a tweet. I was about to say. If you know Jason Schreider, or however you say his name.
Jason Schreier, the reporter who used to be with Kotaku and now isn't.
Yeah. He was at the time. But anyway, he tweeted it, and he was like, "Oh, here's the new controller or whatever." And I just tweeted a picture of him. I wonder if I can find it. The old. Do you remember when the PS3 was new? And there was going to be. I found the tweet. I'll link it in.
Oh wow, that's quick.
Do you
I was going to mention about that.
There's the PS5 controller for those who are watching.
But yeah, when PS3 was new, they the concept controller for the PS3 was this like boomerang looking controller.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah,
oh, no, that's terrible.
It's. I just tweeted at him, just said we get closer every gen to like the controller. They become more and more that shape every single time.
Well, do you know what? Do you know what really pissed me off about that controller is that I was willing to people are backlashing against it, but until you get it in your hands, you don't know. Yeah. You don't know. And that's what I was worried was going to happen with this one. It's like if people keep going blah, 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 then Sony will just change it back to what it was in the previous generation. And the previous generation was trash. And we'll go round in circles again. Wait till you get it in your hand and then you can complain about it.
But then it's too late.
It's not too late. They can still issue new controllers after the initial batch is done.
I am hopeful, but
incremental update.
It still doesn't satisfy my need to have the sticks not be in the location that they are. I just like the Xbox controller so much
the
more.
Left offset,
It makes so much more sense. Like, this is where my hands are naturally. I don't want to have to go all the way down here.
Even
for
the Switch
stick.
got it right. Come on.
Yeah, the Switch got it. Xbox got it. But I mean, there's no way that Sony could ever change that now. I think so many people would be like, "Oh no, asymmetrical controller, Sony, how can you do it?" Like, I'm not gonna buy the console or any. It's become part of DualShock now. So I'm just hoping it's more ergonomic than what the DualShocks have been, because.
It looks a bit more Xboxy, doesn't it?
It does.
The overall shape of it, which is good. Hopefully they put more than like a 1.5 hour battery in it this time.
Oh god, yeah. The battery's so terrible.
Maybe you get up to 2 hours.
2 hours.
It's horrendous. Do you know what really surprised me, actually? I got a Switch Pro controller today. The battery on that is just ridiculous.
Oh my god. It does. It lasts. It's incredible. It's a really good controller as well. Like, it fits really nicely. It's got the asymmetrical sticks. It's good ergonomics, and it lasts forever.
The battery on it is ridiculous.
I don't really use wireless controllers or anything ever, but I have to use that wireless, obviously. And I just forget that I have to charge it sometimes.
Yeah. It's because it's gone so long. Yeah.
Yeah.
Incredible.
But yeah, the PS5 controller, like, I feel like the PS4 controller was such an improvement. PS2 and PS3 just horrible controllers. They're so they hurt.
Whoa, hold on.
Horrible controllers.
Whoa, we don't all agree with that. In arm's reach.
Everything within arm's reach.
controller.
There it is.
See, look at that. What is it? The controller for ants is so tiny.
And it's
Yeah,
it hurts so
as
much to
someone-
use those controllers.
As someone with smaller hands, I love the old gen PlayStation controllers. Obviously, they're not really fit for purpose nowadays. But yeah, I found it really difficult to get used to because I play on an Xbox Elite controller now, and getting used to the thickness. Has been, and my hands ache after holding that girth for so long.
That's funny because I find that shape like so comfortable, and my
Yeah, but
hands
you've
will.
got massive hands compared to me.
Yeah, I guess
Please.
that's what I was saying. Like that, I find
You
the
have-
PS4 and PS3 controllers, my hands ache. So it's all it's all personal to hand size, I guess.
Well,
You have the issue with the thumbstick being in the wrong place on the PlayStation, but that doesn't bother me
No.
okay.
at all.
So I just think you're all wimps because, for reference, I used to play piano and I have really long fingers and stuff, and I've done 4-hour plus long speedruns on a PSP Slim, and I can hold
Yes.
that in my hands for hours fine.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't know. I don't.
Look, no one is debating that you are the most manly man of this podcast. Okay, no one. This is not a discussion.
I don't know. I just don't suffer
Or-
from like hand cramp. I guess you're right. It is a really small.
I just
controller,
don't
but-
suffer from being a little girl.
No, I
Yeah.
don't know. Like,
Yeah.
the way I hold it, I don't know.
I'm good
Yeah,
with my controllers. I can handle my controllers. Sorry if
Seriously,
you
try holding
can't.
a PSP for 4 hours. Slim, not the fat one with the curved back. The slim, flat one.
But at least for me, I think at least the DualShock or the DualSense, as it's now called, the PS5 controller should be an improvement on the PS4 controller. Whether it'll be as good as an
Once again,
Xbox
like, shoot.
controller for me personally, I don't know, but it will at least be some step forward.
It's
What
got some
sense does it have, though?
interesting. Well, it's got some interesting things with the triggers. So the triggers, they can program them to be resistive. So like, it'll like they can control the tension. The devs can code it to control the tension in the triggers. So it can be like stronger for like pulling a bow back, but like lighter for pulling the trigger on a gun.
yeah, and they can. I think an example has been like driving a race car on a track. So you're like accelerating with the
Yes.
trigger, and you can like it becomes more and less resistant. So it's like a weird force feedback sort of thing.
Yeah,
They have
it's
haptic
interesting.
feedback as well, right? So like when you
Yeah,
can run
yeah,
over
yeah.
curbs,
Want
you
to
can
feel
feel
like
it.
the
and
real
stuff.
trigger pull of a double action handgun.
We'll see
It's
how
rules, and then you pull it
utilized
apart.
that is, though. I mean, I
It's
feel like we've
also
seen
the-
so many things like that over the years with controllers, and it never makes a difference.
Yes, because everybody just wants to release their games on all the platforms, and
Yeah.
they don't synchronize these features. So
Yeah.
It's also NOS got it's either a near or far field microphone in it, so you don't have to use a headset.
Oh
with
my
it. You
god,
can
the
just talk and-
microphone! Oh, I
Yes,
just
that's what we
remembered.
need. That's what we need. Everyone on PlayStation Network to have a microphone.
Yeah, no.
It's far field, so I can hear their children.
Yeah. So it's even worse. I remembered as soon as you said the microphone. I remembered. I have researched this controller. It's awful. Do you guys know how obnoxious it is when, like, say, people are like typing in the background, right? Now
Yeah.
imagine you're holding a controller, right, and the sounds it makes and the sticks flicking around, right? Now imagine your microphone is in the controller, right? Like, this is awful. It's like away from
Yeah.
your
But
face.
you can
like,
still plug a headset in.
You're,
It's
you're
just for
coming up
people
on
that-
squeaky. You gotta get 'em.
Yeah, like,
That's not what I need.
But the fact
It's
that
just-
they don't have to plug a controller in, a microphone means they won't. That's
Yeah.
the point. They'll be like, "Oh, I don't need a microphone now. There's one in the controller, right?"
It's
terrible.
It's funny.
I don't
right?
play on console anymore anyway.
Like back in the Xbox 360 days, you know how you used to get the headset with the 360 and you'd plug it into the controller, and back then, before there was sort of party chat and anything like that, Gears of War, the original Gears of War and the multiplayer, you were all just in the chat of the game speaking to your team, and then if you died, you would all go into a death chat. So you couldn't talk to anybody who you were in your team, but you could talk to everybody who was dead before. It was a one life elimination type game.
Oh, so that's when people insult each other's mothers after.
Yeah,
they die.
because you're in there with the other team. Whereas, now it seems like so the other team would be you'd be talking smack about each other, and then someone would come in after going, "Oh, shoot him!" and then they've died, and they haven't realised that they're in the death chat. But it seems like we've lost a bit of that now because everybody's just in parties. Everybody has access to a microphone where it's just kids in the background coming from the controller, rather than people actually putting on a little headset with the sole purpose of actually talking to people online.
There's this platform that doesn't have that problem as much. It's called PC.
No, but the thing is, I think I remember reading an article about this. We have actually lost a whole facet of game design around this. Do you know what would be really cool? So games devs don't work on voice chat because everybody just uses third-party apps and they all do it better. So game devs just don't bother anymore.
Yeah.
But you know what's actually a really cool thing we don't have anymore? It's say you're playing Minecraft, right? Just first example that comes to my head. And Minecraft has you're wandering around and stuff. And when you're close to someone, you can hear them, right? And you can talk.
Proximity chat.
Yeah. And the further away you get, the quieter and stuff you get, right? We don't have anything like that. There's so many little game designy things that we could do with voice chat and stuff that no one does because everybody just plug directly into the other guy you want to talk to and the thing.
Yeah,
Red
it's a
Dead
shame.
Redemption's multiplayer had that. The original Red Dead had.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you'll probably still have it in VR games, I would imagine.
Maybe not competitive ones, but social
No,
ones.
multiplayer. Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like it's a bit of a shame that sort of has gone by the wayside a little bit.
I don't know. I don't want to interact with random people over voice chat. I don't want to hear that.
I mean, the three of us who used to play Gears, myself and Tony, who knew each other from school, and Drakov, who we used to play with, he's German, and he came into starting playing with us from him and Tony talking smack to each other in Gears of War, and then they were they became friends, and then we all started playing, and you don't really get that anymore, it seems, with everybody just in their own little parties. But anyway.
Yeah, I guess.
Probably not necessary. Okay, PS5. So the controller was released, and we still don't know anything about what it's going to look like as a console or any games.
Still waiting on the console.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if they're still trying to retool whatever the dev console looks like?
Yeah, that was actually going to be how the PS5 was looked.
A nondescript black box that plays video games. I don't care what it looks like.
Like the Series X then.
We're getting really bad reviews on what the dev console looks like. We're going to have to retool it entirely.
Yeah.
How did we not see that it looks like a bedpan?
You guys remember my rant last time? How all the dev consoles all look crazy and different?
Oh, they do, yeah.
The PS2 one looks like a PS3 or whatever.
But supposedly there's news that it's going to be limited in terms of numbers in the first year as well, the PS5. There's all sorts of rumours that keep coming out and bits of news that the PS5s are having a bit of a rocky road to being... the fact that we haven't seen it, we haven't had any kind of front-facing, public-facing news really from Sony, apart from now the controller, but...
Price as well, because they're worried about the price of RAM as well.
Yeah.
It's through the roof.
Mobile phones taking all our RAM.
It's going to be interesting to see how it all goes later on this year and whether we actually get these consoles and what the prices are going to be.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here. I go, yeah, totally agreeing with Josh. I'm sitting here with a phone with 12 gig of RAM.
Flipping mobile phone entry. Everyone buys a new one every year and chucks all their RAM away.
All right, so before we get into the other regular corners, we can open up the phone bank.
I've got one bit of gaming news.
All right, we're not opening up the phone bank yet.
So I think we've talked about him on the podcast before. Good old Randy Pitchford from Gearbox Entertainment.
What has he done this time, Hammer?
What has he done this time, Josh? Well, let me tell you. So,
oh yeah, did this
Gearbox
happen
as a
in
whole-
between the last two podcasts as well?
Yeah, Gearbox as a whole, they're responsible for games like Borderlands, the Borderlands series,
What
and
a
whatnot.
scum.
And that's it.
And that's about it. Yeah,
And that's it.
And a few other like little like things like Paladins and things like that. I think, but
What?
one Alien Colonial Marines as well.
Oh, no, that's a
Which was-
masterpiece. Never mind.
which
Okay.
is horrendous. But anyway, so basically, they operate as a company by saying to their devs, "Work for us for a cheaper price than what you would do at other companies, but when the profits come in from the game, we'll give you a big old share of it."
No, you won't.
And the profit share came in, and unfortunately, the projections that they had given their employees were way lower than what they initially projected, because apparently it cost a wee bit more to actually make the game. And unfortunately, some of the devs had, put down payments on houses and whatnot, based on the projections that had been given to them by the higher ups and whatnot. So that was nice of them. Yeah. So
Yeah, now, well, I mean, I feel for them, but you shouldn't be putting down payments on based on projections. That, I mean, or at least I don't
But
think you should.
they were getting these projections. If I remember correctly, Josh, correct me if I'm wrong, they were given these projections right up until the day before the announcement.
I didn't actually look into this. I remember hearing about this. So I'm in two minds about this. One side of me is just like, the capitalist pigs screwing the workers yet again. Right? But the other side of me is like, wait, but game devs should earn royalties, right?
Yeah.
And like, is this
from,
royalties?
from what I understand, they earned quite a lot from what was the two, the second game. That was incredibly successful.
Yeah, there had been devs that worked on 2 that ended up paying off their houses and whatnot, and that's part of the reason that they were all like, "Oh yeah, great."
Yeah.
At the end of the day, as well, they've also worked for a lesser rate for their.
Well, this is really just a good lesson. I mean, don't get me wrong; it's very wrong still. But like when someone who is higher up says, "Hey, when we make money, then we'll give you some of it." It's not. Never trust that. Never, ever.
Didn't this happen during the time where? Didn't this happen during the time where Randy Pitchford gave himself a $16 million bonus or something? Like
that is also true. Yeah. He did give himself a nice sizable bonus there.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. So yeah.
Scum.
More of him being an absolute scumbag. Yeah.
Scum.
Yeah, I'll have to. I haven't looked into it, so I don't want to speculate. But if it's royalties, then I don't know. But if it's royalties, they should just earn the correct wage and then have royalties, right? So.
It was classed. I believe it was classed as a lump sum revenue share.
Oh, okay, then screw that. Yeah, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
So the GTA 6, there's a few people mentioned it in the chat. There was like the tiniest little bit of a
what?
There was the tiniest little sentence in a wider ranging article. I think it was by Jason Schreier actually, about the improvements in the working conditions at Rockstar since all the issues that have come up about Red Dead Redemption 2 and workers aren't treated very well, and then they've made a lot of changes in Rockstar. Got to give Rockstar credit for doing that. It needs to continue, obviously, and get much better, but good that they're actually making a change.
Well, who's telling us that things are improving? Is Rockstar telling us things are improving?
No, it's the employees themselves who are talking to. Obviously, Jason Schreier has a lot of contacts in these companies.
Are they the same employees that would probably be cutting hours and losing their job?
Well, they were the same employees that were talking to him previously about it being bad working conditions around the Red Dead 2 time. So I
don't know. I don't trust like that.
Okay, fair enough. But
I
anyway,
don't trust like that.
That's secondary to the point, because in that article there was a small section about how the next game that Rockstar are working on is GTA 6, and they want working conditions to be better for GTA 6. And then this seems
Where's
to be
my
like
bully?
this seems to have gone to people's heads to think that this is brand new information. Like Rockstar working on GTA 6. What? Like it's not really talk aboutable.
It's fucking. It's set in Miami, and you can also fly to the north of South America, and oh my god, there's been so many leaks, and it's so obvious. It's Vice City. Way, like what else are they gonna do?
Like I don't. You know, it's just what's the need to really talk about these sorts of things until Rockstar, you know, give us something tangible like a trailer or something, then we can talk about it and we can go, oh, that looks really good, that looks amazing, we can get excited. But you know, for now, it's too far away.
I decided to go to my source of news for GTA 6 news, that is our podcast alum Mr. Boss for the Win, to see how many videos he'd done on the subject since that little bit of information from Rockstar. It is quite a few, but the title of the one that drew my eye was GTA 6 story mode is finished, and the game is 60 to 70% completed, according to Rockstar insiders.
Okay.
All right, Ross. Cool.
Okay.
Have fun.
Let's break this down. So everybody on the studio.
Hustle.
So everybody on the studio worked on story mode and nothing alone, right? And all the network programmers, they were busy with the story mode as well, right? And all of the all of the gameplay ecosystem balancers are all working on story mode. Well, that's not how games get made, you morons.
And
made in
No, but that is how ad revenue gets made.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Bossman F the world, indeed. That was what Michael, the actor who played Michael in GTA
Luke.
5.
Don't call him by his character's name. It's so cringy. Stop. His name's Ned Luke. He's an accomplished actor.
He said the guy that played Michael.
I did say that.
He didn't say Michael.
I hate that.
Ned Luke, the guy who played Michael in GTA 5, and basically said that, you know, when all of this was going on.
Funny. I saw that
it was pretty funny how he said that. Don't listen to Bossman F the world or whatever his name is.
I will say, Ned, if you are watching, because I know you're a fan of the show, do get in touch. We would love to have you as a guest.
People like to think that voice actors know things, but they don't. They're kept completely out of development.
They must get so many messages asking, "Where's GTA 6?" Like, how are they meant to know that?
They don't know anything. They're intentionally kept secretive away from it. It's all a need to know basis.
They show up to the big blue room, they do their acting, and then they leave.
Yeah. And it's like they record how many lines that don't get into the game, and it's all over a long period of time. They don't know the story or anything from one character.
Yeah, they'll also be recording it in different portions. So they could be recording the end of the game before they record like a middle bit from section 14 or whatever.
Yeah.
All they know is sometimes devs don't even know what game they're working on. They don't know the name of it or anything. Like I remember, was that the Red Dead Redemption voice actor guy who said that? I mean, he gave an interview one time, and they were like, "Oh, so do you know what you're working on?" Like, no, they didn't even know who they were working for, because they use they outsource to a different company, like a company that does lots of things.
Yeah.
They didn't even know what it was for or anything, or the game name even. They had no idea, right?
Yeah. I mean, that to me that shows us some of the extra skill of being an actor. That you are an actor regardless of the. What you don't need to know anything that's going on around, or what the game is for, what the movie is, or whatever. You can take some material and make it work. Like that's impressive.
It's good acting and good directing as well.
Yeah. So now we'll open up the phone bank, shall we?
Okay.
If anybody wants to call in and ask us any questions on this 3rd anniversary podcast, feel free to jump into the phone bank on the Discord channel. Whilst we do that, whilst we wait for people to flock in, because maybe we should allow some write-ins this time because it's the anniversary podcast.
Yeah, sure.
Out of interest, why don't you allow write-ins?
We are vehemently against it, just out of spite and principle. That if people want to ask us a question, they need to get into the phone bank and come and ask us face to face, voice to voice.
Voice to voice.
Yeah.
They're under the impression that they've given the viewer the privilege to actually talk to them.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
That's it.
Talking to me is a privilege.
I count myself lucky every day.
You should. Now, while you guys talk about F1, I'm gonna play some Animal Crossing.
What's there to talk about?
Well, the racing corner. Let's just go over. We can go over it relatively quickly. The virtual Grand Prix. It's interesting how things have changed over the sort of 1 month. That the Australian Grand Prix got cancelled, and then there was a few people who created. I think it was Veloce Esports who were there and took advantage of the situation and basically came up with not the Australian Grand Prix. And Lando Norris was pretty much the only F1 driver to race in that, I think. But it showed that a lot of people watched it, and Formula One kind of got on board with that. Oh, okay, there's an opportunity. And then it's very quickly come about that they're making their, Formula One are doing their own virtual championship. I think there's 5 or 6 F1 drivers who are racing in it. I think there's Leclerc, Albon, Russell. The 2 McLaren drivers are in it. Latifi's in it as well, I think. Maybe that's about
where's
it.
my man Ricardo? Why can't Daniel Ricardo be in on this?
Leclerc's brother is in it, right?
Oh yeah, there's a few F2 drivers and F3 drivers in there as well, and drivers from other series, kind of like WEC and things like that.
And Jimmy, don't forget about Jimmy Broadbent.
And yeah, that's what I mean. There's a
man.
wide variety. There's Jimmy, who's the YouTube personality. There's people from other sports like cricket and football and things. And Charles Leclerc has won the first 2, so he's showing that he's just good at whatever he does. What a scum! But it's interesting how how quickly Formula One themselves have jumped on this sort of esports thing. It is a shame that they're having to do it on the Formula One game and not on something proper.
What would they use, Bruffy? What would they use?
Well, they would probably use iRacing.
Do you want me to tell you something funny?
Or
Okay, go on.
they might
Have you got a boxed copy of iRacing somewhere?
I'll pick up my wheel.
Or they might use R Factor.
Yeah, that's actually probably what they would use. But do you know what's really funny? Do you know why Max Verstappen isn't playing?
Why?
He's banned.
He hates F1 2019. He only plays iRacing.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't want to play anything. He's an iRacing, massive iRacing fanboy.
Okay, that's all he plays.
He doesn't want to partake in the F1 stuff because he doesn't want to play the crappy sim that F1 is.
Okay, that makes sense though. Like I can understand that. Like
yeah. But
it is a pretty crappy game.
Him and his Team Redline stuff that he's in, they're throwing like tons of iRacing events all the time. He's in every single one of those.
Right.
They're all amazing. I've been watching that. Like Lando and Max have been like wheel to wheel racing, like every single race. They're the best pack. It's great.
But that's the thing that Lando Norris is doing the IndyCar race on iRacing, and IndyCar are hosting pretty much the IndyCar championship with, I think it's pretty much all the drivers, right? Like almost all the drivers, if not all of them, are the real drivers. They're pretty much hosting the entire championship just on iRacing. It's pretty incredible how they're able to do that.
It is pretty awesome.
And Lando Norris is going to be racing in is it this weekend, I think, that he's racing in the quarter race?
It might be this weekend. But yeah, iRacing is, I think I talked about this last time, but iRacing is exploding. Like they've got IndyCar, they got NASCAR, they got the dirt midget races.
Yeah.
Like all of the American motorsports are all in it. It's just like the European stuff, like Formula E and F1 and stuff.
Well, that's the thing. Formula E are now doing their own virtual championship, but I can't figure out. I haven't really looked into it in any great detail, but it wasn't patently obvious what they're actually using as the simulator for it.
It's R Factor.
It's R Factor, okay.
Yeah,
but that's pretty impressive because they've got all the Formula E drivers, again, just like IndyCar, doing the championship, and it's impressive how they're getting together all of these drivers who would normally be racing, but they're actually getting them into the esports stuff, and they're still able to provide, a show, a good racing experience for viewers. It almost feels like Formula One are behind on that because they've got only 5 drivers for 6 F1 drivers. They've got F2 drivers. They've had to bring in celebrities from other platforms. It feels like they're on a worse simulator. They're actually doing it the worst, I would say, in terms of execution.
I know Jimmy has obviously been on it a lot, and he's been pretty outspoken that he's like, oh, it doesn't matter what sim you use, right? It's fine. It's like... It's like hard disagree, Jimmy. I love you, Jimmy. You are really wrong on this.
Yeah.
It's
well, I mean,
really
I'm sure Jimmy's just really happy to be there. I would be really happy.
Yeah, of
whatever
course.
it is.
If I was in his position, yeah, of course I'd be defending him, right? Like, hell yeah. But yeah, no, it's a really bad situation for F1 because it's all because of fucking... What was the guy's name before? The guy who used to run it.
Bernie?
Yeah,
Bernie Eccleston.
Yeah. And he, like, held back all of the video game stuff and all of the social media stuff and all this. And then Liberty Media took over and they just started, like, building all this up. And then all of a sudden they need it more than ever. All they have is YouTube and their video games now. It's all they have.
Yeah. And they realize what they're left with.
I do know the thought of me of some redneck hillbilly sitting in his outdoor furniture that is indoors, watching like fake NASCAR, just brings like joy to my heart. I can't quite express.
I know a lot of people are watching it. They don't even realize it's not real, right?
Yeah,
I'm sure they don't. I mean, they're watching it on probably very terrible TVs.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they probably don't even know.
Lando Norris is currently actually streaming it now as we record, as we're doing this. The IndyCar race at COTA. He's doing it now. 18.1k viewers.
But for sure, don't go watch that. Wait till the end of the podcast and then turn over.
Yeah, don't go watch good content. Stay here, please.
I just looked at who's in the phone bank.
Who is it?
Oh, yeah.
RDT, what a scum. But yeah, the one thing that I wanted to say about the Formula E stuff is that that's being shown live on TV on the BBC, and I'm pretty sure the IndyCar stuff is being shown in America on the regular sports channels as well. And it's just it's awesome. It's esports. It's impressive. Something that I've also I could give a recommendation of is I think it's called just The Race on YouTube. They're doing it on R Factor as well, but it's like a championship that they do anyway, I think, but they've gotten all stars, so they're running an all-star championship in line with their regular championship that they would be doing. And the drivers that they have with that, they've Jacques Villeneuve, Montoya, Jenson Button, so many Jason Plato from BTCC, like so many drivers from so many walks of racing are all racing the same car on the same track, and it's just genuinely good racing that they do. I think it was Jan Magnussen and Jenson Button were fighting for the win in these old McLarens in the last racing, and Montoya would win the reverse race and stuff like that, the All Stars race. Yeah, that's what it's called. Dario Franchitti's in it, and just it's impressive how esports has blown up in terms of racing, and I think it's probably because it's the most translatable thing. The stuff that you do on a wheel and pedals in your room, it's translatable to the real racing. So
yeah,
it's really good to see.
Well, I mean, if we're thinking like extremely long term, I mean, eventually this is what racing is going to have to be. I mean, eventually there might not be gas powered vehicles.
Formula E.
Awesome. Yeah, it'll all be Formula E.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I am going to say I had a bit of a boomer moment with regard to this online racing shenanigans. Not going to lie. So Matty H posted in the Motorsports channel on Discord. He posted a World Rallycross live stream. I was just like, huh. So I clicked on it and I went, oh, this must be a replay. because it's a real race. And then I checked. It's live currently. And then I realized they were playing Dirt Rally 2. Realistic.
It was that good,
dude. I still have. I've played Dirt Rally a little bit of VR, and it's wild.
It tricked me. It got me. The lighting is so good in it.
That's good.
So good.
That's good. I'll be honest. This whole like esports resurgence of racing that they're doing now, it's chipping away at me every single day. Every single time I see some sort of headline or I watch a race on YouTube of all these stars racing and having some good race. It is eating away at me to the point where I'm like, eventually I'm gonna break, and I'm gonna have to, race on something. But that's the thing. It seems like R Factor and iRacing are now the two, at least from what I've seen, that you've got Formula E on R Factor, you've got IndyCar on iRacing, you've got the race thing on R Factor as well, but then IndyCar iRacing seems to have more infrastructure or something and more well known. What do you choose? Because I feel like you've got to pick one.
I feel like you choose iRacing.
You choose iRacing.
Okay, that wasn't the answer I
like,
was looking for.
Well, okay, but I don't know. I haven't actually played R Factor 2, so I'm not sure. But I don't know about how it works. But iRacing is such like a esportsy thing. Like every single race you do, for the most part, is like ranked. And there's like a whole progression thing. It's like from content creator to content creator, you can make a YouTube series of this real easy, bruv.
Right.
Right. Like, hey, you have your like getting out of rookies series, and then you get your like rookie license or your first non-rookie license, and you can do more stuff.
So the actual sort of game built around iRacing backs up the simulator aspect of it.
Yeah, there's a whole meta game.
That's what I've always felt with R Factor 2. It feels like R Factor, if anything, is like the very best of this. Just simulator. If you're just looking simulator to simulator, that seems to be like the one. And as someone said in the chat, that R Factor is the consumer Vex Aurora said it. R Factor 2 is the consumer version of the software that lots of race teams use in their own simulators. So that makes sense. But yeah, it seems like the iRacing actually has the game built on top of that, like that you can progress and stuff.
And they have special events, I talked about the endurance race I was in that one time, and but just the actual the meta game around the game, like improving your ranking, getting your licenses.
Yeah,
they do the community organizes what's called a strength of field race, where everybody joins one race at the same time. So the more people are joining that race, the closer racing you get, because the more people there are that are the same rank as you and stuff, the same skill.
Yeah.
So you could do the strength of field race for the skippies. Skip arbors are so much fun to drive.
Right.
And the F3s and stuff. Like, what would you do?
You start in the MX-5, don't you? In iRacing.
Yeah, you start in the MX-5. That's the road course. If you do oval, it's different. But you start in the MX-5, and you have to earn your racing driving license by driving safely.
I'm already well equipped to. Since I drive two MX-5s.
But it's like, of all of the non-speedrun things I stream, iRacing is the most popular because people it's so tense because every single game is like a ranked, super important game. If you do bad, you can lose your license, you could get banned, right? Like you can't do anything. And it's like the points are on the line.
The races that you do feel like proper races rather than just a game mode that you're going to move on to the next one next time.
Yeah, and it's not only just about winning either, because what iRacing does is that when you join a ranked race lobby, your car number is your rank compared to everyone else. So everybody uses that as your goal for the race. So if I join a 20-car race and I'm number 15, I'm just like, oh hell, if I get to the end of this and and I'm higher than 15th, that's a win. Right? Yeah. Like I'd come across the line like 10th and I'm like, yeah, that was amazing, right? Like of course you win races as well, and that's like, the best. Yeah. But even it gives everything is all of iRacing is surrounded by this meta game of gotta do good in everything. But the R Factor is just like, you connect to a server and there's like, I think they do ranked stuff now. But yeah, it's like the sim, like pure sim, like I don't know how to explain it. Like
it is gradually chipping away at me. That's all I'll say. I'm not there yet,
Okay.
but it's
All right.
yeah, it's getting
When
there.
you get there, let me know. I'll hook up the wheel.
Yeah.
I'll join.
Okay.
And me,
Do
I'm
VR
busy right
as
now,
well.
so hold off for a few
Okay.
months. But
Yeah, for sure, do it in VR. It makes all the difference.
yeah.
Okay.
Doing a VR. Yeah.
How long is your speedrun corner gonna take?
I could do it quick.
Okay, I'm
Wow,
because
that's rude.
what I was my
Speedrun
question
corner.
was to decide whether to bring RDT in because he has, he wants to come in, but
Oh,
or should we do the speedrun corner after we bring RDT in and we can do the last the community questions now, or do we want to just get through the things first in the order that we normally do it?
okay. Important question: has Avio played Gran Turismo?
I mean,
Oh
I've played.
yes, I'm
Well,
excited to hear
he's
about
an
this.
Xbox boy, so I'm
Oh
guessing
yeah,
Oh,
make him wait. All right, we'll make him wait.
okay. If he doesn't have a good reaction for what I'm about to tell him, then but have you guys played
Yeah.
Gran Turismo? Okay.
Which one?
Specifically 4.
That's the best.
I've not played that one.
I've played it. I've played it with my wheel through with PCSX2 or
3 was my first, but Gran Turismo 4, is that the one where you got the black cars at the end when you like completed it 100% or something? I remember completing 100% Gran Turismo 4 and 5, I think.
Oh well, how long did it take you, Bruffy?
Oh, God knows how long, like long.
Like months?
No, yeah, probably
Yeah,
years.
'cause there were
I mean, it
literal
was the sort of
24-hour
game that I
races.
would come back into every now and then for over the course of years.
Okay. What if I told you someone did a 100% speedrun of Gran Turismo 4?
I would be very curious how long that took.
Okay, so it was a team. There were 1, 2, 3, 4 guys, and it took 230 hours,
Wow.
35 minutes, and 51 seconds.
That sounds about right. Like they are not easy 100% the Gran Turismo games.
Yeah. I've never played them, so I don't know. Obviously, there must be a lot of content for it to be this long, right?
There's so many
No, there's
races and so
literal,
many
like, Gran
license
Turismo
tests.
4. Yeah, well, not just the license test. That's not the big thing. Like, there are literal 24-hour races in that game.
Oh yeah,
like,
of
several
course.
them,
Yeah, I had to
remember?
do
Yeah.
like 2 of those, I think, for the 100%.
I mean, you can simulate them, but
Yeah, well, if you know anything about speedrunning, normally speedrunning is all in one sitting.
Right,
They did it
yeah.
in one go.
Wow,
They didn't
okay.
save and come back later. They co-opt it for like, I mean, however long 230 hours is in days. I guess 10 almost.
Yeah.
That's maths. Almost 10 days straight. There's like a big stream VODs of it. I'll link it.
Wow.
Yeah, you can watch it all 230 hours of it. There's a little FAQ linked.
That's amazing.
There's a question: are you taking rest breaks? And the answer is nope. We plan to play straight through, assuming we can stay awake. Why exactly are you doing this? 1, we're dumb. 2, we're quarantined for 3 weeks, have nothing better to do. 3, nobody has ever completed this category before, yet alone rooted it. And 4th, we're all racing game fans, and they say run the games you love, right? So,
Yeah.
so is this on YouTube? Where can I watch this?
it's all Twitch. I don't know if they have a YouTube video yet.
Okay.
But yeah, there's like a bunch of Twitch links because I guess they had to like switch streams or whatever. The 4 guys, I'm not sure why they did it.
230 hours. What a bunch of just wonderful people.
Yeah.
These are the maddest of lads.
Yeah, Gran Turismo 4 was on PS2, I remember.
It's
I
an
remember
excellent game.
the 24-hour races. I remember having to, like, I was so scared that my PS2 was going to break for being on constantly for 24 hours because they added in a later patch, I believe, or a later version of the game or something, or maybe it was Gran Turismo 5, I don't know, the ability to like pause, like you could come into the pits and turn the game off. It would save your progress in the race, and when you loaded up the game as well, that was in Gran Turismo 5. When you loaded up the game, you would start up again the race from where you left off. Whereas in Gran Turismo 4 on the PS2, you couldn't do that. You could have a driver, B-spec driver, I think it was called, to race for you. So you'd pull into the pits. You give your B-spec driver would come into the car and the AI would drive around the track for you. But for me, at least on Le Mans, I remember I could only do that for a certain amount of time because he would always crash at a certain point going onto the back straight and lose a load of time. So he would lose a lot of positions, and then I would have to come back on and start racing again. But I was scared about leaving my PS2 on for 24 hours straight. It worked fine in the end, but I really enjoyed 100%ing that game, actually. I mean, it was so long ago now, but...
Yeah, they've got
PS2 was a beast of a system. An absolute beast.
Yeah,
I don't remember being able to do it at triple speed on Gran Turismo 4. At least if you could, I didn't do that.
Yeah, so in the FAQ, they have what is 100% no B spec is the category. So I assume they didn't use that, what you're describing.
Yeah, no, that would make sense.
They say every license test, race, and driving mission will be completed and driven in its entirety without using B spec at any point.
Mission spec was where you're like the crew chief. I remember.
Yeah. And you could tell them to go faster or slower. The driving missions were so difficult, though. Some of them. I've still got some of the videos from 2008 on my YouTube channel. The Gran Turismo 4 challenge. It's crazy. Anyway, memories.
You need to play GT4 sometime.
Maybe
bruh.
I should.
Like,
iRacing. No, Nos, what are you doing?
I probably still have my old save cartridge. I think I've still got old PS2 save cartridges around.
Well, I would play it on PCSX too, my dude. Played it like 4K. It's great.
My favorite Gran Turismo was one that you've maybe never heard of. It was Gran Turismo Concept, which was just great. Gran Turismo Concept was the cars from the 2001/2002 Tokyo/Geneva motor shows.
It was so weird, that game. Like, it was so specific.
The most ridiculous cars in the world in it. It had one of my favorite cars of all time. Can't remember the name of it, but it was a car that I think Toyota developed, and it was a car that was developed to show emotion. The car itself showed emotion, so like,
oh my god!
So the lights at the front like changed color based on what emotion it was showing, and like if it was really happy, it had a little tail at the back that it would wag.
Oh my god!
What? It was the best thing. Let me see if I can find it.
Well, yeah. So I'll quickly do the rest of the speedrun news. So basically, obviously, for obvious reasons, all on-site speedrunning marathons are all cancelled. Cancel all of them. And everybody and their dog is doing an online speedrun marathon right now. There's so many. It's crazy. I've been in 4 speedrun marathons in the past month. I helped organize 2, and I ran in 3. So I've been really busy the last month with so many speedrunning marathons. Hopefully it dies down a bit when everybody's like, oh, everybody's doing this, so they stop doing it.
Yeah, maybe try and spread it out a little bit so they're not all doing it at the same time. Did it go okay though? Like that, you were doing one straight after the other or something, and was it okay?
Yeah, they both went okay actually. Yeah, thankfully. The last one I did though was actually really bad. I think I did it yesterday. It went such a disaster. I had to like keep cheating. But I got through it in the end. Yeah, I had a bit of marathon fatigue, I think.
Yeah,
but anyway, so yeah, there's tons of speedrunning marathons now. If you want to watch a speedrun and you don't want to like watch a bunch of people reset for hours on end, and you want to watch a full run with commentary, go on the speedrun category on Twitch and just find any marathon and watch it, because it's constant, 24/7. You have to pick. And the only other thing is that I know it was last month, but Doom Eternal came out last month. It's super broken. People are like flying through the air and clipping out of bounds and stuff.
Wow,
it's crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, I think was it Carl Joss? Someone on YouTube made a good video explaining it. So yeah, if you're a fan of Doom, I recommend looking at the speedruns. It's crazy. That was it. That was my speedrun of the speedrun news.
There is one more thing though. You've been coaching somebody on SA lately, haven't you?
Okay.
I've only gotten to see a little bit of it. But how's that going?
If we want me to sit here and be shameless self-promotion, sure.
Yes, that's exactly what I want.
All right, sure. So, last 6 months ago, my birthday is in August, and for my birthday, I did a speedrun marathon. Funnily enough, here I am complaining there's too many, but there weren't too many back then. I did a speedrun marathon, and we had like donation incentive and stuff. The biggest donation incentive we met was a donation incentive for what we called Emma%, which was me teaching my girlfriend Emma to speedrun San Andreas. Hi. Which was like a joke that we accidentally met. So we were like, what? Oh, so we had to figure that out.
Hold on, let me just stop you right there. The whole like, oops, I set this donation goal and it got met. Oops, like you set a donation goal, it's gonna be met. Like, come on.
It was all viable stuff, of course. Like, we weren't gonna hide it. But anyway, last week, which was exactly 6 months later, it's her birthday. So we were like, perfect, now's the time to do it. So for her birthday, I sat Emma down for 6 days straight. 5 days, I taught her the whole run, and the 6th day, she did a run.
Wow.
It was, we did the no major glitches category, because it's the simplest one to do. But learning a whole speed run, like one that's that long, like your first run is like 8 hours, or like for I it was 9. But she had 5 days of practice. When I first learned the run, it took me months, right?
Right, yeah.
I spent months doing everything slowly.
That's awesome.
I like marathon, so it was cool because we framed it as like a tutorial thing. So what would happen is I had to like if you know what NDI is, Bruffy, I had like a fancy streaming setup.
Yeah.
So Emma's computer was streaming to mine, and what I would do is I'd press a button to toggle between my view and her view. So I would do a mission and I would explain it, and because I've been running the game so long, I know lots of different strats, like different ways to do different missions. There's like the fastest way, obviously, but that's normally the hardest.
Yeah.
So I was teaching her like, I was teaching her the most safest, consistent, easy route I could think of. So it's a really good beginner tutorial. If you've never done a speed run of anything before and you want to speedrun San Andreas, this is the tutorial, right?
Yeah.
There's no when speedrunners do tutorials, it's here are all the things I do that's super ultra hard. Good luck.
Yeah.
So I came up with a bunch of new strats. I taught her all the simplest stuff that would get her through the game consistently with the least RNG, and no, I'm going to do a 70% and kill the run stuff. And yeah, what I would do was I would do the mission once on my view, and she would watch, and then I would explain stuff. And normally, most speedrun tutorials are the speedrunner just doing stuff in their view, and then you watch, and then you try to replicate it. But there are always problems, like unforeseen things that I don't think about beginners not knowing or doing. So the best bit of it was then I'd switch to her view, and then she'd try it. And then all of the like hurdles and stuff that I haven't foreseen, or like little issues that come up, I could help her through it.
Yeah,
and then she'd
good.
eventually do it.
Yeah.
And it's like a really good format for like a tutorial thing.
Yeah. Actually having someone
What
do
Patreon level do I have to subscribe to have you coach me through a run?
I was thinking that, like, how much should I charge coaching?
Yeah. How much an hour?
yeah. But it was a really long. It was a slow, like 6 days. There was one 3-hour day we had, because there was one section that was really short on the second day, but every other day was like 8 hours plus.
Wow.
It was really intense. And then her first run, how long was it, Emma? Like 9 hours or something? 9 hours 10 minutes her first run was.
Good job though. I mean, yeah, that's that's some dedication to actually have to learn on that in such a short amount of time and then execute it.
Yeah. It was pretty impressive. Unfortunately, the time itself isn't like leaderboard good. But like I said, learning the game in 5 days, like nobody does that, right?
Yeah,
like,
that's impressive.
Insane. So we're like editing it and
pretty
stuff.
much blind too. It's not like she
Yeah.
Much as a kid or something like that.
No. She played it like one point like a few months ago, so she knew like the vague controls and stuff. It's not like, oh, you press W to go forwards and F to get in cart. It wasn't like that. It was like, know the controls and stuff. But I was teaching her glitches for the first time. She'd never done them before, and she didn't remember any of the missions or anything. So, but yeah, it was really good. And we hope to format it into a good tutorial. There are some issues with it because they're like, I know for a fact that when people watch this tutorial, they're only going to watch my bits and skip Emma's bits. But there's so many corrections.
That defeats the whole purpose.
Yeah,
there's so many like
defeats the entire purpose of the content.
But people are like sit there and get frustrated that she's like failing stuff in her practice and stuff and skip it, right? But there's so many like alterations I do. It's like, oh, she's struggling with this bit. Must have been it's my fault, right? Like I think of a different things for her to do that's easier.
I don't know. I think you'll get enough people to what who would take that seriously and get the idea.
I'll watch anything you put on your channel. Just
but yeah,
it's
yeah, it's like so 5 days of learning and then 1 whole day of running. And yeah, I learned a lot. There's a lot of stuff I didn't know happened even. A lot of time limits I didn't know about. For
oh yeah.
yeah. It was like, oh, if you chase this guy too long, the mission fails. I'm like, wait, what? Right, like,
good job.
Yeah.
GG's.
Yeah, that was fun.
That's excellent. Also, before I forget, I will forget. She asked what version to play Deadly Premonition in or on. I'll report back to her after I play the Switch version because the PC version's really it's terrible. It's really buggy. There's like a bunch of places where you like the game just crashes for no reason, then you have to run in compatibility mode for like 15 minutes just to pass this one mission, and you got to run another compatibility mode. So no, not the. I don't know. The Switch might be good. I haven't played it yet. The PC version is terrible. I think the PS3 version is slightly less terrible, and I think the 360 version is slightly less terrible as well. So
I like how this turned into the Emma section.
yeah. Well, she asked like 10 minutes ago, and if I didn't do it now, I'd forget about it.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. That's all right.
All right. So should we do some last episode follow up? Quickly do that, and then we'll get into. Oh yeah, what's this car?
RDT.
Hammer, that you...
Yeah. What about RDT's question?
Well, the community questions
Also,
normally after our last episode follow up, but we
Are they?
actually let's bring in
yeah, they
RDT because
Yes.
he's part of the last episode. I
Yeah,
mean, he was
yeah,
here.
Yeah.
He can help with the follow up.
He doesn't like you say. Bring him in. He's got permissions to get into the channel.
That's true.
himself.
Well, he's being very, very courteous.
He is.
Fuck.
He's staying in the
Right,
phone
okay.
bank, and
There you go.
is he muted
Right.
himself?
Hey.
Hello, welcome to the
Hey.
Choking Heads podcast.
Yeah.
Yes.
It
Welcome.
must be
He's
a
probably
pleasure
not
for you
even
to be
here. Oh, there
here.
he is.
Can't wait for this quality.
Is this the question section?
Well, I mean,
we just brought
we just brought you. We wanted to do the last episode follow up and comments and guess the number and stuff, but we thought we might as well bring you in for that before you ask your question.
Oh, well, that kind of ruined the whole thing.
Oh,
But,
go on then.
okay.
It's the question. It's the question section.
All
Go
right,
on.
it's community questions. Hey, welcome to Chokeheads Podcast. Who is your question for, and what is your question, sir?
Hey guys, long-time viewer, first-time caller, big fan. After 3 years, you've had a lot of cool guests, a lot of interesting conversations. A lot of cool things going on. So going off of that, if you were trapped on an island and you could only play one game, watch one movie, listen to one album, and eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be? Thanks. I'll hang up and listen live.
Okay, hold on. Let me write that down. So that was album. Hold on.
Video
So we're
game,
doing-
movie, album, food.
Okay.
Ooh.
I mean, everyone's going to expect me to say San Andreas, but hell no.
No, absolutely not.
No. Minecraft is my game thing.
Yeah, Minecraft would probably be good. I mean, you need something that's kind of infinite, you know? Like,
Yeah.
you need something like that. So Minecraft's a good one. That's solid. Something that just kind of has infinite content.
What movie though? Because I can't think of any movie that has infinite content, right? Like, you need...
Yeah, but you're not going to be watching it constantly. You're only going to dip into it when you get fed up of playing Minecraft.
I pick Back to the
suppose.
Future Part 2 because it makes me feel
Ooh.
happy.
That's a good choice. I don't know.
Because it just makes that movie just makes me feel so good. So every time I watch it, I'm just really happy. So
I'm gonna say Pulp Fiction then, based on that exact same thing. I mean, it's my favorite movie, so you got to.
I mean, Pulp Fiction's one of my favorite movies too, but I don't know if happiness is really the
Well,
emotion.
I enjoy it
from Pulp
so
Fiction.
much that that's enough for me to.
It is great. That's solid.
I'm gonna make a lot of nerds really angry, and I'm gonna say, Matrix Reloaded, the second one.
The second one.
Interesting choice.
I'm one of the people that actually liked the Matrix trilogy.
I mean,
wasn't like, "The first
I
one
do
was
as well.
fine."
Actually, I like all of them.
Oh, okay. Well,
I think
wait,
the
is the
problem
second
with
one the
that
one?
is
Go on.
the second
Sorry.
one is the one with the big fight scene you're thinking about, yeah.
I was thinking about the architect. Is the architect come at the end of the second one?
Think so.
I can't remember.
Someone
It's
in the
been so long
chat
since I
suggested
watched
the
it.
Lord of the Rings trilogy, and I think that's really solid because that's near infinite
That's
movie content.
not one film. I would
Yeah.
say the
One movie.
Matrix trilogy. You would have said
Well,
the Back to the
look, just-
Future trilogy.
Look, if you get it in a box, if it's all on one disc, all right, you get the box set. But
I think
the
the
whole
problem.
Ring,
Sorry.
that's a lot.
Yeah, I think the problem with the Matrix was the first one was so good, the second two could never live up to the hype.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah,
problem.
that's true. But I
They're-
enjoyed
they're-
them. Like,
They're okay, as films. They're okay.
Okay.
but
I
just
thought
not
they
as
were
good
they
as
were
the
they
first
were
one.
good. But yeah, the first one is just so that it's just that level above, I suppose.
Mm.
Game, I don't know. Like, I feel like, I mean, Portal 2 is my favorite game. If I had the ability to access custom created maps that, people, there's a community that create Portal 2 maps. If I had all of those maps to be able to just endlessly play through, and I can dip into the story when I want a bit of, entertainment, like a movie, I would probably pick that, I think.
And you
You're
see,
asking for an internet connection on this island as
Well,
well.
no, just the ability to have the maps loaded to the game before I get to the island.
I thought Portal 2 was just Portal 1 mildly better, but way too long, right?
Oh, I loved it. It's my favorite game of all time. I was
Yeah,
so.
you think
Yeah,
you
I
don't get-
can see that. But the
You
whole
don't get whipped.
bit with the whole bit with the when you go down into the underground, or
That
whatever,
was the
old
best bit.
No, I feel like the whole game would be fine without that bit.
Oh, that's my favorite bit. I love it.
Okay, well, we'd have to agree to disagree.
Yeah. It's weird. Like, I've played all these games on streams, and people noticed how happy I was when I did the playthrough of Portal and Portal 2. Like, it's just such a difference from playing any other game.
Ruffy, Portal speedruns. There you go.
Maybe.
Just do glitchless Portal. Don't do the glitches. They're crazy insane. But do the glitchless categories.
Yeah,
of
maybe,
Portal.
maybe that would be
There
where
you
I would
go.
start.
Yeah, do
I,
Portal 1 because it's nice and short.
Yeah.
I can't play Portal, and I couldn't watch your playthrough of Portal because the voice of the big main robot thing is like nails down a blackboard for
Oh,
me.
really? Okay.
Really?
I can't listen to it. It's horrible.
Never
Okay.
heard anyone say that before.
It's out of tune in all the wrong places. So it really, I hate it. It's horrible.
Okay.
Ugh.
She's the best bit. What the hell?
So should we? What were the other two things? There was
Food and album.
food and album.
Pasta, obviously.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, can I just pick potato and like cook it in 17 million ways? Like, how...
Is egg allowed?
I was going to be super specific and just say my favorite meal, but like maybe that's the way that we
I
should
think that's
go.
what RDT's going for. Yeah.
Chicken vindaloo. That's going to be what I was going to say.
I'd say tuna pasta bake. Or no, roast dinner.
Roast dinner would be a
Sunday
close
roast.
second, actually.
My mum's lasagna.
Album.
Oh, I don't know anything about music.
Yeah.
I really like No More Tears. Ozzy Osbourne.
I don't know what album was Two Pina Coladas by Garth Brooks on. Let's see here, because that's probably what I. That was on the album Sevens, released in 1997. It was the 8th studio album by Garth Brooks, and it had Long Neck Bottle on there too. Yeah, all right. Well, there we go. There we go.
Maybe
You
just
guys
push
don't know any
play
of these songs
Aerosmith.
because you don't know country, but you know.
Really? Just push play out of all of their albums?
Yeah, I think I like that one the best. Now I'm looking. I turned around to look at all the albums to see which one I would choose out of all of them, and I feel like that's the one I would go for.
I'm so surprised at
Yeah,
that.
I really like that album.
I don't know about music. What's the best Queen album? I don't know.
I'm not too fussed on Queen.
Well, you could just
Probably
just
whichever
have it on the
one
greatest
Somebody
hits.
to Love is on, if I had to guess.
Oh yeah, maybe just greatest hits. Yeah.
No, that doesn't count. That is not. No, you can't do
No, we're only
that. You
original
can't
ones.
say,
not-
"Hey, I just want to
I'll
listen
take a
to."
greatest hits compilation. That's perfectly acceptable answer.
Yeah, okay.
That's
Alright,
acceptable.
thanks.
There's probably some not popular Queen song I like more than a popular one, but I don't think you go wrong with greatest hits, right?
All
I'd
right, well,
probably
then I'll
do-
pick Garth Brooks' greatest hits because all of Garth Brooks' greatest hits make me happy, and that's what I feel like. That's what you need on a deserted island is something to keep you happy.
Yeah,
That's
I
what I'm
suppose that's
focused.
true.
Because you can't. Someone doesn't
mean-
just, or someone from where I'm from doesn't hear "Friends in Low Places" and not sing along. Like that's not.
I think on a desert island you use something to burn, but right, whatever.
Was that everything? Was that did we cover all the things, all the categories?
I'd have album-wise, I'd have S&M by Metallica. It's a good one.
Yeah, Metallica, yeah.
Good range of different songs on there, and the symphony in the background makes it pretty cool.
Cool. Did that answer your question, RDT, satisfactorily?
I think it did. I think I'm satisfied.
Are you sticking with us, or are you going?
If you're not too fussed about the mic quality, is it bad?
No, it seems fine
No,
to
it's
me.
not bad.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll stick around for the next 15 minutes or so.
All right.
All right, well, before we continue, RT, what's your 4 things?
That's a good. Yeah.
Okay, for video game, I'm gonna have to go. I just started playing this again. It has to be like a sports game, because I'm a big fan of those. I just started playing Fight Night Champion, which was the last boxing game that EA put out. It's so good. They need to put another Fight Night out because they are amazing.
Their boxing games used to be so good.
Yeah. Oh man. Now they're just focused on subpar UFC games, and it's rough.
Fucking Knockout Kings, man. Knockout Kings from back in the day.
For album, I know people would probably assume that I would do like a rap album. With that was probably not too pleasant. But I'm gonna have to go with "Stop Making Sense," which is the concert album of the Talking Heads. That's a fantastic album. Or it's kind of a tie between that and "Ready to Die" by the Notorious B.I.G. Which is a rap album, obviously.
That's pretty good. That's solid.
Food, I'm gonna be a basic, simple, a little boy and go with pizza.
Amen.
Do you have the ability
I'll
to
bring
change
it
the
to you.
toppings on the pizza, or would it be like the same pizza or just a margarita pizza?
Yeah, just a regular margarita,
Yeah.
Neapolitan style, whatever we're going for.
Fair
Cheese.
enough.
I'm very plain because I like to make pizza myself. It's a very meditative process for me.
Okay.
And so just
Same.
regular sauce, cheese, bread, all good.
Sorry.
What?
Wow.
Did nobody catch
cool.
that? Did nobody catch that?
Catch what?
What Nos said.
I didn't actually.
He said it's the same for me.
What, making pizza?
Very meditative process.
I totally spaced on that. I heard the words, but it didn't. It's just, yeah, very meditative in Domino's.
Yeah, it's very stress free.
Yeah, that was very good. That was very good. I heard the words, but it didn't work in my brain. Like, it didn't sink in.
Jesus. That's the funniest thing you've said on this podcast.
Wow.
What else did you have? Food, album, game, movie?
Oh, right, movie. Zoolander, obviously. Always
okay.
Zoolander.
Really?
Watch that. I mean, me and my old roommate Jerry,
I remember
we
Jerry.
have literally
Oh, we remember
Jerry.
Jerry.
Good old
we've
Jerry.
literally watched that 3 times in one night just to prove that we could. We love that movie so much.
I like that. All right. So do we have any write-in questions?
Yes.
Because we got nobody in the phone bank, so you give people the opportunity to have a write-in, they'll just not bother with the phone bank at all. So
Well, we've got 2 people that can't use mics, so
unlikely
first one-
story.
Yeah.
This one's from Major Copyright. This one's for Josh. Josh, do you have any speedruns that you don't like to do / watch?
Yeah, loads.
But I think specifically that you do. I think
yeah,
I read this
Yeah, I was
question.
thinking that must be part of it.
Probably
like-
the Red Dead Redemption speed run. That's pretty garbage. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, I don't really like doing that. Funnily enough, actually, my last Red Dead Redemption world record finally got taken yesterday. A guy finally beat my Undead Nightmare any % run.
There's no telling why.
Times.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was
Undead Nightmare isn't the
four-
worst.
Yeah, it was 1 hour 5 minutes 4 years ago, and he beat it yesterday. But the thing is, I did my runs on 360, and they're on Xbox One, so I'm pretty sure they load faster. I'm not sure.
They do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Much faster.
But anyway, I don't know. No, I would say Red Dead's the other way round. I liked doing the Red Dead Redemption runs, but watching them is horrible because they're really slow.
Yeah, it's like, are there any that you can appreciate who they're done by? Just you don't like the game that they're doing.
Like half the Nintendo stuff, like super hyper popular Nintendo things, like GoldenEye. There's like a whole really hardcore community about GoldenEye speedrunning, and all they do is run diagonally, look at the ground to reduce lag. The Mario 64 is all insane. I never played that game, but the tech in it is absolutely ridiculous. Everyone knows the whole like half A press thing. I say that nobody reacted.
Is that when he wipes his butt on the on the ground and just goes super fast?
Yeah. The hyper accelerated back hopping, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Um,
It's quite funny to watch though.
I don't know. I can't really think of a specific run that it's like I don't like doing, but I would like watching. I mean, I don't like doing or watching San Andreas. I don't know. Yeah, apart from all the stuff that I don't actually run because I don't want to.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Next.
Thank you very much for that. Next question's from Agnew. Agnew says, what do you guys think about Ferrari blocking the reduced funding max cap to make F1 more competitive?
Not surprised, but disappointed.
Wait, the company that has the most money wants to block a limitation of money? What?
Yeah. It's a very Ferrari
shocked.
thing. Let's be honest.
I could have told you that was going to happen. I don't even follow F1 at all. Like,
well,
it's
you
kind of
could probably
obvious.
argue Mercedes is more of a budget.
They probably
they
do
don't
now,
have it.
actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are Mercedes selling keychains for $100 a piece? I don't think so. I think Ferrari probably.
They probably actually are, but yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
But yeah, like Ferrari are just always arses.
They're always
in
the
F1.
worst.
Yeah, they're always like, oh, we don't like this rule. We'll leave the sport if you implement it. Right?
Yeah.
That's what they usually
Let
do.
them leave.
Yeah.
They can't because
F1.
because all of Italy would leave, and they need
Okay.
Italy for F1.
Come on, we got plenty of racing circuits over here in the
No,
US.
it's not just the tracks, the fan base. There's like 3 teams based in Italy. Like
The other, 6 of the other 7 are
replace
in
them
the
with
UK. It's not a big loss. Yeah. Ferrari, not surprised, but I think they'll probably come around, and they're just posturing, and it's all.
It
really-
would be nice for F1 to get to a point where it doesn't need Ferrari anymore, so it can just kick them out
Yeah.
and they'll come running back or whatever. But yeah,
All right. Any more questions?
One more question. Over the last 3 years, what has your favorite podcast moment been? And that's from Matty H.
I'm
mine was
terrible.
when I got invited back.
Yeah.
I'll let you guys answer this again.
I don't know, because I'm terrible at bringing things back to my memory like this. So, like,
I definitely know mine.
Matty H putting in the chat
I really
earlier.
just like the entirety of having Mr. Boss on. Does that count as a moment? Like, just the
Yeah.
fact that man agreed to come on the show.
Yeah,
That-
I was going to say something similar. It was the talking with Sonny Evans after his episode, and knowing that Mr. Boss watched it, and then that whole thing falling into place that we could get him on the show.
Yeah, that was kind of surreal, I suppose. Like, I can't imagine he would ever agree to do that now.
I bet you we'd get him on the next episode, guaranteed.
Yeah.
We'll tweet him. Yeah, be good.
It's all about GTA 6.
Yeah. What's yours, IDT?
Mine is definitely the second Boski episode.
Oh yeah.
We
That was
totally
a great
flubbed.
episode.
We
Yeah.
flubbed the first episode with Boski. Then we learned how to treat guests correctly.
Yeah, he was a
And,
good learning experience
Yeah.
for us as professional podcast creators.
I was
mean-
massively appreciative of him willing to come back to give us the chance to redeem ourselves for how badly we
Raggedy
did.
Dan on the podcast. No!
Oh God, that was
Christ.
the worst experience. If that was the question, the Raggedy Dan episode was the worst. But the second Boski episode was definitely my favorite because we learned so much about him and like that we totally missed in the first one. He's like a real life superhero.
Yeah,
Cool.
just everything, just things just kept coming up about him, like all these things that he does and these stories that he had that we just never. He was on an entire podcast early on, and we just never got to any of that. It was
I want to be Boski J when I grow up.
Yeah.
Honestly,
he's a great guy.
I was watching one of his streams the other night, and he was playing this skateboard game, and I remembered, oh yeah, we talked to him. He owns a skateboard company. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We were like, wait, you own a skateboard company?
And now he lives in
you're the
Japan. Like, we need to get him on again to talk about all of his, because he's probably had a lifetime of interesting things
he's
happen.
been in Japan.
Just-
he lives
yeah.
in Japan now.
Yeah.
I think.
So that's yeah. I would say we've had we've had a lot of interesting guests and stuff. But like, if I'm pinpointing specific moments, there's a few things that like Matty H put in the chat earlier. The whole Formula Week thing that not like.
Oh, that was
funny, and like there's the podcast highlights playlist on the channel that has a few moments of just moments where we were like bad laughing because it was so funny. Just those moments are what I would probably put on more so than anything else. Just because yeah.
There was the game night when RDT crashed into you.
Oh yeah, when we were on Down the
when I
Drain, and he goes, "Oh, Buffy, what car are you in?" "Oh, I'm in the Masacro." "Oh, okay." Smash.
That one. I thought you were talking about the end.
amazing.
where he
Oh,
has
the end,
Sultan
yeah.
finally.
The very last thing that we did, you just came flying.
Slaying, you went 50 feet in the air and just came down and blew up. I
Yeah.
had no idea that was going to happen.
The game night highlights playlist as well on the channel. Yeah. Yeah.
We have actually. Sorry. on you
Go on.
I was just going to say we've had one more question.
Yeah.
The question is from Emma, who I think you're familiar with, Josh. She says, "Sugar-free Nos. I learned GTA San Andreas in 5 days. If you were forced to spend 5 days learning a speedrun, which game would you pick?"
Forced. I love it.
Well, I would want a game that's like funny, right? Like you want one of those because I want to be able to take that skill and then just go host a marathon run somewhere, right? Because I got the personality, I could host a marathon run real easy. It'd be a lot less cringy than half the people at GDQ. High burn. So I don't know. See, I don't know enough games. Like I don't know enough speedrun games to really pick.
What do you mean by funny?
I don't know.
Like
I don't know.
glitchy or the game
Yeah.
itself? Or...
Yeah, one where it's just you know what? Actually, no. I've got my choice.
Okay.
Battle for Bikini Bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would run the ways or learn the ways of Mr. Shift. And
Yeah.
I would pick, and then I could do the rehydrated when it comes out too,
Mm.
the remastered version. That's my pick. Is Battle for Bikini Bottom.
Yeah, it sounds like a joke answer, but that game actually has a massive
Oh, it's
speedrunning community.
extremely serious. This is not a joke. It's,
Wow.
it's
Yeah,
extremely
yeah.
serious.
That's
And
surprising.
it's a fun game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know too much about it, but I know the speedrun community for it is huge.
Wow.
It's
Okay.
Yeah,
what-
there's
it's
like- there's
half
hundreds
the
of
reason they're
rounds.
remastering the game, I think.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Okay.
Good question.
Yeah. So move on to last episode follow up, and then we can get into choke of the year. What was even the comment? I can't even remember.
Hi, Jan's here.
McDonald's, wasn't it?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
McDonald's stories.
Hey, Jan, another guest that we had. That was a good episode with Jan.
Yes, that was a good episode.
And then very shortly after that episode, I feel like Rockstar were watching and decided to contact him to tell him to stop leaking stuff.
Yes.
Sorry, Jan.
Yeah, sorry. I remember
Sorry,
he said.
we
I
said
remember
thank you.
specifically though. He said on that podcast he was talking to us about it. And he was like, "If Rockstar have never spoken to me, but if they ever did and said, can you just stop leaking? I would, and I'd respect that." And then like a week or two later, it was like, "Okay, guys, I've stopped. I'm not going to leak anymore. I've been contacted by Rockstar and I've agreed to not leak." It's like, oh, did we do something there?
I mean, shout out to Rockstar for watching our podcast. Good
Yeah.
on you, Rockstar.
Yeah,
Hey.
maybe that was back in the day when we actually talked about GTA. Maybe not so much anymore.
The amount
Yeah.
we slag you off, I'm surprised you still listen, if I'm honest. But, yeah. So yeah, there was 53 comments in total for Quarantine Stories episode. How many do you think mentioned the keyword McDonald's?
I'm gonna go high. I'm gonna go
15.
40.
Oh, okay.
15.
If we're not doing the stupid Price is Right rules this time, I'm going to say
We're
30.
not.
Stupid.
Yeah, and we're not.
You
We
mean
never do those
fair?
rules. These guys want to
Okay.
think that we always do those rules, but we never do those rules realistically.
Okay, then I'll say 30.
Okay, so
I'm going to say.
Oh, 53
because you
comments
weren't
for
going-
episode
yeah, okay.
53. Yeah, look at that.
I'm gonna say Blackjack 21.
all right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think possibly for the first time we have a winner. The winner is Joshima's 30 comments.
Whoa!
Wow.
Exactly.
Nice,
Okay.
nice.
That might be the first time anyone's ever guessed it exactly right.
Yeah.
You won a brand
just
new
went in
Kia
the middle of-
Soul.
I just went in the middle of your guesses. I didn't think of that.
That was pretty good.
There is one story that Phil picked out, but it's a bit long. Don't know if you want me to read it or not. It's a McDonald's story.
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
It's from.
It's the
it's
third
from
anniversary episode. Let's let it all hang
All
out.
right.
Wait, is it from Black Bass?
Story time. No, it's from JP this time.
Okay.
JP Doe. Right. So he says, last time I was at McDonald's was Christmas Eve 2019 on a road trip to visit the family. My brother and me were driving in his 25-year-old VW Polo Coupe in a convoy with their dad, who was in a 25-year-old 400,000 kilometer, that's 250,000 miles, Volvo 850. They were only going about 65 miles an hour on the Autobahn because of the Polo being gutless. Everything went fine until, bam, traffic jam. Came to a stop almost immediately. After a while, he notices that rain is evaporating on the hood. As they were creeping through traffic, as they were creeping through traffic, the thermometer on the engine was also creeping up, which had him quite stressed. In front of them, the father was stressing because the Volvo had recently developed a problem with stalling while idling, and it happened before that the engine wouldn't start up again. At this point, they really questioned their decision to take on a 312-mile road trip with two cars that were almost as old as he was. In the end, they got to their destination safely, but it was pretty much the most stressful road trip he'd ever had.
Good.
Thanks for that, JP.
That was the last time he was at McDonald's, huh? Interesting.
Yeah.
Man.
Good
Traveled
job.
300 miles to go to a McDonald's.
Yeah. Seems a bit excessive, right?
Not these days.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. So, yeah, I guess that's everything sorted out. We need to do choke of the year now.
Choke of the year.
IDT, do you have the ability to
whole
watch
year.
the choke of the year playlist or with us?
I do. I'm on my work computer right now. Hopefully Conde doesn't see this.
Right, so there were how many? 9 chokes this year?
Yes.
And we've whittled them down. If you want to see all of the chokes, you got to watch the pre-show. That'll go up on the channel. But
It we should mention that as in keeping with Choke of the Year traditions, the winner of this will win a £25 voucher for either Steam, Xbox, or PlayStation.
oh yeah, I always forget
there
about
was
that.
money in this.
Wait, what? Really?
Or Nintendo. Oh, well, sure.
We've done it the
Did you
past 2 years,
Yeah.
RDT. Keep
Yeah.
up.
Hammer does that
Oh,
every
man, I didn't
time.
even know
Yeah,
how
I
to
always
fish
remember.
from series.
I feel like you
So-
should bring this up every time. More people would submit.
Yeah, we
The
probably
winner
should.
of it,
Yeah.
the winner of it, get in contact with me on Discord, and we'll sort it out.
So we've whittled it down to 5 chokes. We basically got rid of the 4 chokes that we felt we didn't want. And so there's going to be 5 chokes, and you guys are going to vote. And the winner of this one is going to be crowned Choke of the Year for this year. So, are you guys ready to start when I'm ready to start the
Yes.
playlist?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm going to start it now.
Alright, we're in the Hermes. We're on some track somewhere.
This was the one that I
Everyone's
didn't
waiting.
remember out of all of the chokes, actually. It was probably, I mean, it must have been
Yeah,
the
I didn't
first one,
remember
but...
this.
Yeah, we should probably say I haven't seen these, right?
Yeah, Josh is seeing a lot of these new, since they happened before he came on.
Oh, the cutback there. What a move.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah,
What a move. What a
To the
high
lead.
octane racing maneuver.
in the Hermes.
What a vehicle, the Hermes. What a vehicle.
Hermes.
Lap 4, coming on to the final lap now then. 10-minute race.
It's molesting those curves.
And then hits the sign.
Right.
Oh, no.
Oh, it's alright, he can reverse into the finish. Oh, no, he can't.
No.
Yeah, that's a bad way to lose.
That is rough.
Definitely not a good way.
It's heartbreaking.
Alright,
All right, next clip. A not GTA clip.
Oh, wait. Issues are being had. Hang on, everybody pause.
Uh-oh.
Are we starting over?
Hang on. I'm gonna have to like reopen this because it's skipping. Let me just.
Oh no.
First clip worked fine, and then. No, it's skipping it. All right. Tell you what I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to. 3 years we've been doing this, and nothing's changed.
Hey, it's Blade Cruiser.
Well, first clip wins, everybody.
Right, I think we should be good now. Ready to start the second clip from the start?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going now.
Alright, it's Gran Turismo. Look at this. Wild.
In 20th
So in,
place at the minute.
That looks
Yes.
so realistic as well.
Yeah, Mount Panorama, Bathurst. Made his way up to first. I didn't realise that initially when we first watched this. He's gone from 20th to first.
Yeah.
That's,
It is against AI though, actually.
Oh yeah.
This isn't multiplayer. Coming around the final corner on the final lap,
Ooh.
spins it around and loses the
He
race.
binned it.
Binned it. Absolutely binned it.
Heartbreaking.
Heartbreaking. Well, we get to see it from a first-person view as well. Yeah.
Man, those
Oh,
rumble strips, they're deadly.
yeah. You don't want to do that
And-
shot there.
That's a pretty decent choke, actually, after a 15-lap race around Mount Panorama.
Yeah, how long was the race? It had to be a while.
Yeah.
Alright,
Difficult track,
the next
too.
clip. Is it working for you?
Yeah, it's all good.
Alright, stunt race, going around a loop. Bam! He's hit. What a shame.
Still in the lead, though. Oh,
Yeah.
not
Still in
anymore.
the lead.
Now we've been hit again. And we're flying off the
Oh, no. Just
track
reset.
entirely. Respawns.
All
Oh,
the way
no, there's a
back.
car in front of him. Yeah.
Oh. How long is this clip?
And then goes around again and throws straight down.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, no.
This is
Well, he
such a
can still save it, though.
capitulation.
He can still... Oh, nope, he's off again.
Yeah. This is incredible. Like, it's just such an incredible amount of capitulation.
It's a comedy of errors.
Yeah.
What could possibly go wrong now?
So he's all the way down in 9th now. At least he's overtaking the OG, got himself into 8th after being in the lead. Right before the finish line as well. The finish line is right there. He was so close to winning the race. Ouch.
Terrible.
Ouch.
Sad
All right,
times.
number 4.
All right, he's gone for the Feltzer here. An unusual choice of car for this class, going against the Masacro.
This almost didn't make it in, and now I remember why. It's because there's only the 2 of them racing.
Yeah, he gets the big El Busto.
Coming onto
down
the
back
final
straight.
Yeah, but brake boost on the second last straight. The finish line's right in front of him. Jumps out, but loses.
And he passes at the last moment. Alright, next clip. We've got the Spectre, I believe.
14 minute race. Final straight. Hits the
Second place,
barrier
light pole, barrier.
from second. Oh,
down
this is a
into
lot of
third,
positions.
Down into 4th, down into 5th, down into 6th.
Fifth
Or just
in the
5th,
end.
there we go.
And there you go.
Oh.
Those are your 5 options for choke of the year. Which is the best choke?
Realize I didn't do this. Choke of the year.
There it is. Number 1, 2,
Was-
3, 4, or 5. Number 2 to
Was
remind
the
you.
winner of last year the guy who ran out of fuel?
No,
just
that was the
before he-
first year that we did it. That was
Yeah, that was the
the
first year.
that was the
Also,
original
that
when we
man's
had
name
like
is Johnny 36 2000.
we had so many chokes in the first year because it was weekly back then, and that was still the best choke that we've ever had.
Yeah, I
admit
agree.
Yeah.
So the first one, again, to go back over them very quickly. Let's do that. Actually, I'll just give you the quick. So we got the Hermes was the first one. 10-minute race in the lead, reverses but still loses right at the line.
That one's all on him though. He's just
Yeah.
curbed it too
I mean,
much.
that's what a choke is, I suppose.
Yeah.
Second one, 15 lap race around Mount Panorama. In 20th place, gets all the way up to first and bins it on the last corner. 2 minutes a lap, so it would have been over half an hour for the race. But it is against AI. Maybe that will take an aspect into your decision.
Yeah. It's such a vanilla choke as well. Just oversteer on the last corner.
The third one, I'm sure you all remember, was the absolute capitulation from the lead, and then you all saw the comedy of errors. And then the fourth one was the brake boost that turned into celebrating a little bit too early across the line by jumping out of the car. Like that.
Hey, Jimmy Broadbent is streaming.
And
He's in his pajamas watching someone race 24 hours of Nürburgring.
and then the Spectre in
Sorry.
second place, dropping down to 5th on the last corner of a 15-minute race. Those are your options. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Vote on in the chat. This is the choke of the year. There's money on the line. If you gotta
There's
get
money on
voting.
the
There's
line.
196 of you watching. Vote on what is the best choke. What is the choke of the year this year? Let us know.
You can vote on who gets money instead of you.
Yeah. I feel like I'm struggling with this one. Like there isn't one that is a clear winner for me. There's some that I feel like are clear not winners,
Yes.
but I'm struggling to think of a clear like absolute winner. I won't mention anything
none
until
of them
obviously.
really had anything major on the line. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true. The third one I will note, I just noticed it when I watched it back that last time. The initial crash that he has that starts the entire capitulation was actually caused by, you know, those loops where there's a gap in the loop,
Yeah.
so you go through and then around and then through it again. It was actually caused by another car coming through that and hitting him.
Yeah.
So
You
it
just
wasn't
now caught that?
like
Yeah,
I didn't notice that initially. Like that, it wasn't a full on choke of only his doing. It was that the rest of it was obviously, but
Is that a plus or a minus?
that's a minus for me. Like that's not a
okay.
choke if it's someone else who crashes into you. That's not a choke. That's just bad luck. True chokes are usually that's true. True chokes are usually the most boring ones. I noticed that the last time we watched this choke too. Did I? Well, that shows how bad my memory is.
I think I have a clear winner for myself.
Yeah. I think I've formulated it right now as I've been sat here.
I really can't pick. So, like, the first one is, like, the truest choke. He's just shouldn't have been doing what he was doing. He had the win. The second one is also a pretty true choke. Like the classic oversteer on the last corner and lose it. The third one is just hilarious. Like, we don't need to do anything more about that. The fourth one, I know you guys say it's like it's just a two people race, but, like, have you ever done a one-on-one race before? It's pretty intense, right?
I suppose, yeah.
And they're, like, fighting for the win right at the end. And then he's just like...
But then how serious of a race is it?
Yeah, I mean, if you're jumping out of a car at the end, it can't be that serious, right? He's having a giggle.
Showboating.
Yeah, exactly. Showboating. That's not really a choke. And then the fifth one is like... what was the fifth one? Oh, yeah, the fifth one is... I guess that's a choke, yeah. Just the classic lampposts in GTA. They get everyone sometime.
What how are the votes doing? Have they leveled out?
We've had 89 votes at the moment.
89, and we have 200 people in here. Come on, are you serious?
We have a clear winner.
We have a clear winner. Okay, I think I know what
clear winner.
I think I know what's
at
won.
At the moment, unless something changes.
Okay. Last chance to vote for choke of the year. And then we'll give our thoughts before we give the results.
If there's a clear winner, is it?
I already know. I think what the clear winner is,
it must be
but I don't agree with it.
Yeah.
You never know.
Shocked.
Our viewers could surprise us.
Absolutely shocked.
No.
What? You don't have faith in them to make the right choice? Come on.
No.
No.
The only time they ever made the right choice was in Choke of the Year Season 1.
Well, guess what? It's their podcast, not yours.
God damn it. All right. Let's give our thoughts then.
I picked number one.
I picked number one as well. As I was formulating it.
Number one.
Say again?
I also picked number one.
Yeah.
I think we all picked number one.
Yeah. Number one's it's pretty
So,
bad.
and your winner is choke number 3.
Probably. That's what I think.
It's what we would choose and what we think the chat would choose.
Yeah. That's pretty much amazing that we all chose the same. Like, that was the truest choke. That was the best one. It was in a multiplayer race, a decent length, and he still almost won it going backwards after the mistake. And yeah. But I think number 3's won it.
I think we're actually going to have a runoff now because we have a tie for first and second.
What? Really?
So, yeah, we have a tie for first and second now with your votes.
Wow. Okay.
So, everybody voted for. Oh no, we don't have a tie.
Someone just jumped in to mess it up.
Nope. We don't have a tie. We've got a winner by one vote, and it was indeed choke number 3.
No!
Oh, come on!
No!
We should have had the runoff and allowed all the people who voted for the other 3 options to.
I was right. I was right. It is a tie. I think we should have a runoff. Sorry, I was miscalculating, but I wasn't counting RDT's vote. So yes.
We do have a runoff. Okay.
So we can do a runoff if you want.
We should do a runoff between those two.
Yes.
Choke number 1 and
on the
choke
line
number
here.
3.
All right.
There is money on the line.
Yeah. I will show those 2 chokes again. So everybody who voted for something that wasn't choke number 1 or 3, you'll get another chance to cast your vote. If you voted for choke 1 or choke 3, you'll get a chance to change your mind.
You are low IQ. You are a low IQ. Single digit Forrest Gump IQ.
This isn't helping number 3.
Yeah, I feel like we've already influenced it a little bit, but all right.
I was going to give my argument for choke number 1 versus choke number 3.
Are we all gonna plead our case for the chat, please?
There's no more podcast if you don't vote for choke 1.
I just got here.
All right, choke number 1. This is it. We'll watch the full clip of choke number 1 and choke number 3. So we're in a Hermes race, 4 laps of the track. It's a fairly long track, it seems, about 2 minutes and 2.5 minutes. That was not more than like 3 minutes for the first lap.
Sir.
Gets into the lead, makes the overtake up the inside, as we see there. Nicely done. And then coming on to lap 3 and then subsequently lap 4, maintains the lead very nicely. Coming on to the final straight in the lead, 10 minutes into the race, hits the sign right before the finish line, thinks he's still going to be able to win it because he backs up towards the finish line and gets beaten just at the line. That was choke number 1 and choke number 3. We'll watch the full clip again. In a big lead here, to be fair, in the stunt race. Comes around the loop, gets hit by a car in the sort of shared section bit. He gets hit again to lose the lead and drops all the way down onto the ground, has to respawn. So now he's in 3rd or 4th, who knows, because it's, and then hits, goes onto the respawns, goes onto a boost, hits another car, goes back to try and get the boost again, but then falls off the track again, all the way down. I mean, he should have respawned now at this point, but he just, I think he was done by this point. He needed to just end it. Respawns again, ends up in 10th, manages to make up a couple of extra positions by the end, but ultimately finishes in 8th place after being so close. The line was right there, the finish line. He was so close to winning the race and ends up at the back. So that was.
Yeah, I wonder if this was a premium race or not.
No, there was more than it would only be 8 players.
Yeah, obviously. It's
that's right.
I mean, after the initial hit, he wasn't going to win. So
I mean, you've got to take into account your argument, Bruff, was that he got hit by one of the stupid loop sections. But anybody that's raced those races knows if you race those loop sections, you've got to go to the side.
You don't go through the center.
Otherwise,
yeah,
you don't go through the center.
But is that really choke level misjudgment, or is that just unlucky that the car was there? Most of the time, you're going to get away with it.
Like, I feel like if we cut off that final clip at like the first time he loses the race, the first time he gets hit and loses the race, we cut it off there.
It becomes not much of a clip. Yeah.
Whereas, the first one is so short. It's such a simple, pure, actual choke. He's right at the line. He's a mile ahead. He almost wins in reverse.
Yeah.
He wasn't doing anything. Wasn't doing anything he wasn't doing already. And then
and then still gets pipped at the line like by the smallest of margins.
Yeah.
Yeah. So number 1 and number 3, you guys vote again. The poll is in the chat. Vote. What was your favorite?
You all better vote. All 200 of you. Come on.
Should we vote on the straw poll as well? Since they've already cast our votes, we should do the straw poll vote, and then we won't count any extra votes from us.
Yes.
But then we have to look at the result, right?
Yeah,
I'm not looking at it.
Oh yeah, right.
Oh well.
I voted and then closed it immediately. So.
Oh, you don't have to see it. Okay, all right. Vote and then Control W. Oh, I don't think I did it. Oh, no, because the whole IP.
And yeah, he didn't need the curb boost at the line either. He didn't in choke 1. It's not as if he needed to go for that curb boost before the line. He was gonna win.
He could have done a 180 in reverse without the crash. He made it.
Yeah, but muscle memory. You're doing it the whole race.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what the choke of the year was for year 2.
Do we want to find out? I can.
Well, I mean, it's kind of irrelevant because we already know that our first year's choke was way better.
Yeah, the first year's choke is the ultimate choke we've ever seen.
Well, I would like to see the first choke.
Definitely do not just type in choke of the year in YouTube because you won't find it.
That's not a thing I want to type into the internet.
God damn it! I hate YouTube. It is just the worst. I just want a single video from a playlist. I don't want the whole fucking thing.
Oh yeah, when you're link something,
you just take the URL and copy the bit in front of the and list equals. Come on, Hammer.
There it is. Johnny 36 2000 with the
What a god among men, that man.
the choke
He's
of
so
the year
great.
from year one. I'll link it in the description
boy.
in the
This
choke
was-
chat, and then I'll link it in the chat as well. I'll also link it in the description of the YouTube video for this podcast.
This was year 2.
And
winner.
this was so. I'll for those
Okay,
who are
cool,
interested
cool.
in choke of the year for year 1 and year 2, I will link both of them in the description of the video and the podcast. If you're listening to it, the link will be there as well. But I don't know. That will probably just whether that redirects you to YouTube or something. I don't know.
Just lift and coast, dude. Just lift and coast.
Oh yeah, the out of fuel, so bad. Such a long race in that first choke. Oh yes, second year was a good choke. It wasn't. I mean, it was worthy of choke of the year by Hitman. It wasn't as good as first year's choke. Nothing will ever be as good as that.
The
choke,
first
but-
year's, I mean, Johnny is just just watching everybody go past him. as
Yeah,
he
it's
just
such a beautiful choke.
crawls.
Absolutely
It's-
the best.
Sad violin music. is what
Yeah.
you need, right?
All right. Do we have results sorted out?
Yes.
Okay. Give us. Can you give us the other three how they fared?
No, I've got rid of that.
All right, forget it.
Your winner is choke number 1.
Oh, faith restored.
You made the right decision.
Oh,
Good job, everybody.
There
What
is a
were the votes?
In the second vote, it was 70 votes to 20.
Okay, that
Excellent.
excellent. Faith has been restored.
Faith in humanity restored.
So who was that with choke number 1? Who won it?
That was DNB Warrior.
DMB Warrior. You are terrible.
So-
You're so bad that you are worse than everybody else who was also bad this year. That's how bad you were.
Year.
Is he even here? He's probably not even here.
Probably not,
I
but
don't
I mean,
know.
I can still call him bad.
If you're watching this, you have to be watching this to get in contact with me.
Yeah,
Get in
yeah.
contact with me, and I'll sort your £25 platform related voucher out.
And thank you, Hammer,
Nye
for doing
Loopy
that.
was choke number 3 that came in second.
Yeah. Hi,
Yeah,
Loopy.
and you know,
Very
I
close.
really like Show 1 because I really like Loopy. All right, good man, good.
Loopy, I know this is probably, lessening the value of the winner, but reach out to me. I'll get you $25 for that win. No lie, I'll do that. It was a close.
It was so
contest.
close that you're gonna
Oh,
give the
that's
$25 for
I'll give you
the second place as well, because it was okay. Nicely done.
oh, this everyone wins crap. Oh.
Yeah,
No, just the top 2. The other 3 don't care.
Yeah,
Don't count.
man, I want to lose 25 pounds.
Well, £25 is more. There's more money in £25 than there is $25, at least right now. So
Yeah.
the winner still
least
gets
right
something a
now.
little bit extra. Oh, Nos, all of your lights have gone out.
Oh no.
Oh no, the screen.
Oh.
Oh, it's just his camera's died. I think.
Rip.
Or is that his power going out?
I don't know. Well, he's
if
still
it
in
is-
Discord, but not speaking.
It
No,
is
I-
Obama.
No, I
think
think
it's a power outage.
his power's gone out. His
Yeah.
lights have all turned off, and his computer had enough power just for long enough to send this one frame. And
But
then he's
that-
like,
He's
That
still in the
ghostly
Discord
image.
chat. He would have
Yeah,
left
yeah,
if like.
Yeah.
yeah, because the way it works.
No. That's not how Discord works. Bro.
No?
Yeah, he never. If you don't close Discord and send a message to Discord saying you're disconnected, it will just assume you're connected.
Oh,
Just
he
said,
just
well,
said
my
in the
power
chat
just
now.
went
Yeah, well, my power just went out.
I was right.
Wow. Right
Look
at the
at-
very
look at-
end.
Look at that
Incredible.
creepy face, like he's in a Queen video.
Incredible.
That's so disturbing.
Yeah, wow. Right, well, I mean, that just sums up Choking Hazard podcast, doesn't it? All these chokes and now Josh's camera has changed size. Oh,
It's all
man.
collapsing, guys. We need to end it. We need to
Nothing
end
has
it.
changed over the years. whether you were we have been watching us for all these 3 years, or you're new to the podcast, thank you for listening and watching, regardless of wherever you listen or watch. And plenty more to go. I'm sure we'll continue the podcast for all this time. But thank you guys for watching. We do need a word for the comments. If you've made it to the end, whether you're on YouTube or on the various places that you can listen, you need to go to the YouTube channel and the video and get this word. What's the word going to be?
That's Nos gone now. Power cut.
Yeah, power. Yeah, power.
Tell us a power cut story.
Yeah, or just use power cut somewhere in your comment. It can be a story, or you can just post power cut to say that you got to the end.
The Yanks don't say power cut; they say power outage.
All right, any variation of power cut, we will accept. And thanks RDT for actually turning up as well. I'm glad that we were able to have you here for this one.
Yeah, I'm glad that I got to jump in a little bit.
All right, that will do us then. An extra long special episode for 3-year anniversary. Thank you guys so much for watching. Do you guys want to say goodbye, guys?
Goodbye, guys.
Yeah, he says to tell everyone he said goodbye.
Okay. All right, thank you guys for watching. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.